Oh, already live. That was quick. That's how it goes. Now, hopefully, hello to everyone. Wait for the first person to come in so I can say, uh-oh. Is there any sound? Casper's in, but it doesn't say, oh, there we go. Casper, can you hear me? Amy, INFJ, wow, you lot are quick. Can you hear me before I carry on? No? Yay! Thanks, INFJ. So, epic. I didn't really want to. I did a video earlier that was explaining the other video that I did, and I didn't really want to do that video because I was not going to give the information, but somebody called me out on it, so I suppose I have to because they already know the information. I don't know how that was translated to them, if everybody knew that information or not. I don't know. But it's about the broken monitor that stopped Ben from doing the show that he was supposed to be doing. And I've tried to get a picture of like a broken mirror that's in stiff.com and a broken monitor, and a rainbow, end of rainbow and all that in one picture, but it was difficult, so that didn't happen. So in the video that I did do, I told people that there was information that I hadn't given, in the top part of it, where it talks about the broken monitor and why. Now, one thing I want to stress is the same way that, an agreement to say it's WYOMING, that there doesn't need to be a conversation or emails or anything. The same way that Ben is waiting for me to do my video, there doesn't need to be an email or any correspondence. And what was the other one? Oh, I wrote it on the front, I've already forgot it. Hi, Jason, how are you? Yo, 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 smack it. So there was another one, I can't remember what it is. But it has to do, SHILOH is working with the finder, solver, whatever. There doesn't have to be any communication there, just that they're working, to the same goals on a different path themselves, but going to the same place, as it were. So when I say that Ben's waiting for me to do my video, that doesn't mean to say that Ben knows that I'm going to do a video and he can't do his video until I do mine. So, I'll try and explain what I'm talking about in that. Going back to the beginning, I went on Street's show with Davey B, and I told him about a prose, a story that is the thrill of the chase. I didn't say the thrill of the chase to him. I said there was a prose that we had to tell the world, the globe. I can't remember the exact wording that was in the poem, but it was about, telling the world about this story before, story was mentioned or anything. And that story is the thrill of the chase that Forrest Fenn wrote in the poem. An epic story that ended up with Jack finding the treasure at 9 Mile Hole. A true statement, in a story that was written by Forrest Fenn in the poem, a true statement that nobody understood because they couldn't read the poem. And to those people that can't read the poem, nothing is as it seems. And yet to somebody who can read the poem, everything is as it seems. Forrest is telling you a truth that he wrote about in that poem, in the thrill of the chase. Essentially a book within a poem within a book. And it's much more than that. But you had to find that story. You had to find the story. You had to understand what was going on. And if you could read what Forrest Fenn wrote, then you could read the rest of the stuff. So everything that we saw in the chase was in that poem, and written in the poem by Forrest Fenn, and other stuff that was in the poem. But the story of the chase that people don't understand was already written by Forrest Fenn. His endeavour to make things happen like they're supposed to be. Obviously, there are other projects that Forrest was doing, but in order to make it happen like it's supposed to be, there has to be the story that Forrest Fenn is telling, and somebody understanding this story that he is telling to everybody. Everybody was supposed to listen to this story that Forrest has in the poem about Jack and 9 Mile Hole, and about everything else that was done in the poem, about the chest in the lawyer's office, about emails, about far too soon that Ryan Bavetta gave to Pam on the K-Pro show, about Cynthia and K-Pro going to the long flat island on the Madison to Totem Cafe. This was already wrote by Forrest Fenn to take place. So before 2010, whenever he was writing the book, all of these scenarios were written into the poem. And you can find all of the, even, down to Ashley saying that they found the lid to the ice cream, the, butterfly tattoo and sunflower tattoo. Was it sunflower? Yeah, the monarch butterfly, sunflower. All those things were written into the poem by Forrest. I'm getting messages. I don't know if I'm being told shut up. But, to me and to everybody else, it probably seems impossible that Forrest Fenn could do this. And, the two things that possibly could be is Forrest Fenn wrote the poem, then found all of this information and made it happen with the information that he found. So everybody's been paid, all you people in chat, all the people that are supposed to be searchers, paid to make this endeavour of Forrest work, this movie, this creation, this virtual existence of a treasure hunt. Or Forrest saw all this happening. And, there's plenty of evidence to prove that Forrest saw all this happening, and that makes it more impossible. So both are impossible to believe, that Forrest can find this information and get all these people to be quiet about what's going on, or that he saw all of this and wrote it all in the poem. Either way, it's very, very difficult. I just hear somebody saying, "No, you're saying too much." I can't answer that now. I don't know if you're in chat or not. I can't answer that now. Just wondering if Davey V was like, sorry, excuse me while I do this. No, I'm good. A million messages, but I thought, hang on, what's going on? Hello, Star, how you doing? So, sorry, the broken monitor, is that a script from Forrest Fenn, or is that a real thing that Forrest Fenn knew was going to happen? In all of this, in everything that's happened in the chase, the one thing that is most perplexing is how Forrest knows that somebody, whether it be me or anybody else, everybody's in the poem, as I was explaining to someone, everybody's in the poem, and that includes historic people and places and the artists, etc. How this was done, I don't know, and how Forrest could know. I know he talked about the metal and resolve, that somebody needed to do this. But at each point, whoever the soul of the finder, etc., is, they would go to the nth degree. they would look at everything that's happening in the chase, find it in the poem, or find it in the poem, then it happens in the chase, whichever way it went. But Forrest would know, or have to know, that this person would do that, because at any point in time, if that person didn't do that, then the chase stops and it doesn't happen the way that it's supposed to. If the person who is the finder or solver does not follow the script, not because they've been paid or anything, just because this is what's going to happen, and you have to do this in order for this to happen. So the scenario of me doing the video, that was supposed to happen. If I didn't look it up or didn't post it, then it doesn't happen like it's supposed to be. But how does Forrest know that I'm going to do that, or that whoever's done this has done that? So when I say I'm talking about if I'm the solver, how does Forrest know that I am going to look in the poem, work out what's happened in the through of the chase, and explain it to people? And when I say that Ben is waiting, any comments? When I say that Ben is waiting, not because Ben and me have talked, not because I know what the situation is. I don't know if Ben knows. You know, I was always of the opinion, mindset. You know, who is who? What is this all about? There are not millions. There are many people in the poem, and some of them are in the chase, and some of them are really rich people, you know, billionaire people. So what is this, you know, really about? And, you know, again, Forrest says, who don't trust anyone, not even me. So it's like, well, who can you trust with all this information, with all these people that are in the chase, with these people saying that they're searchers and they're finders and solvers, and their solve is correct? And I know, you know, in reality, that can't be true. You can't have all these people that are solvers, and you can have all these solvers, but they can't all be correct. So basically, they're offering proposals. I propose that this is where the chest was, based on my assumption that this is Warm Waters Holt, and my assumption that this is the Blaze. And in that case, everybody's going to find a chest. Everyone. Anybody who entered into the chase will find a chest, in the sense that this is where a chest should be. If I start at a random Warm Waters Holt, Firehole River, I choose the Firehole River as my Warm Waters Holt. And then from there, I take a canyon. I'll take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk, and I put in below the home of Brown. So I'll look for a put-in or whatever you people do. And then from there, it's no place for me. So, you know, I keep trotting off, you know, to different places. And then, because I don't know what a Blaze is, I choose a Blaze. No, that must be the Blaze. I've done all these things, and I've reached the point that I think is the Blaze. That must be the Blaze. So therefore, at that Blaze, I'm going to find a chest. And that's the same for everybody who did that sort of search. They start at a Warm Waters Holt, they finish at a Blaze, and at that Blaze, there should be a chest. So they're the solver because there should be a chest there. You know, and Forrest said in the interview, you know, two things happen. Either somebody beat them or it's a hoax. And if it's a hoax, why are you still looking? So each of those solves are proposals. They're not solves. They're just proposals. They have no idea that their Warm Waters Holt is correct, and they have no idea that their Blaze is correct, only that it makes sense to them. So Forrest has to indicate to people that A, you know, they're incorrect. No, A, the reality of it, and B, that they're incorrect. So when people give Forrest a solve, he will turn around and possibly tell them that it's not correct by saying, you know, if you're walking more than a mile, you're walking too far, in the case of K-Pro. So anybody who has a solve where their Warm Waters Holt is more than a mile away from their Blaze, that solve is incorrect. If Forrest says, I know the chest is wet, anybody with a solve that hasn't got a wet chest is incorrect. so you deserve another turn. And he would give out many pieces of information that, if you were listening, you would say, oh, hang on, Forrest just said it's in a place where you would not normally go. People would not normally go. And here's my solve where, people probably walk 12 foot within, where I think my chest was. So it can't be there. It can't be. So it's in a place where people would not normally go. It means where the chest is, not the surrounding areas, but where the chest is a place that people would not normally go. Because, Forrest says, it's isolated. And I've explained before, isolated could be 3 foot away. In a gallery, they isolate the works of art. It's not isolated that it's miles away from people. It's isolated because it's separate from people. So the place has to be separate from people. It's in an isolated place. It's in a place people would not normally go. Did the hot water affect the patina? I know the chest is wet. And you add all those things together. And it says that the solve that you have can't be correct. So Forrest is doing a lot of things within the poem. He's and the chase as a whole. He's telling you a story about this treasure hunt that went on, about this person called Jack, who found a chest at 9 Mile Hole. And if you don't understand that story, you're not reading the poem. Now, I'm not trying to offend people by saying this, but you didn't take part in the thrill of the chase that Forrest Fenn talked about. And basically, you're being rude, listening to the information that he's giving to the finder. Because he said the information is to aid the finder, not the seeker. So if you didn't know what he was talking about, really should have just ignored it. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't concern you. It's nothing to do with you. It's a conversation between whoever the finder is and Forrest Fenn, or whoever the solver is and Forrest Fenn, or whatever term that you want to use. Because, Forrest Fenn could be the finder and Forrest Fenn could be the solver. Because Forrest Fenn, depending on how you choose to use the word found and the word solved. Forrest Fenn wanted to know, page 15 is important, I don't understand why people don't use it, but he wants to know if he can succeed in this endeavor, if he can make it happen the way that it's supposed to be. So he's trying to achieve something. Here's the thrill of the chase. He's doing this thing. And he wants to know if he can make it happen the way that it's supposed to be. So therefore, there must be stages or events that take place. He talked about, so many things have to come together to make it all happen, etc. But there must be a chain of events that have to take place in the way that Forrest already knows the answers. He already knows how he wants it to take place, how it should take place. Now, again, it's that, did he write the poem and then find the information, or does he know the information and put that information in the poem? So if he knows the information and puts that information in the poem, what is it that's supposed to take place to get him to the point where even memory has not been, where he can make that last flight, take the last flight to where even memory has not been? It hasn't been done yet. The script hasn't been finished. The ending hasn't taken place. He does not know what happens at that point. So everything in this epic story that's written in the poem, Forrest has the answers. But he wants to take his last flight to a place where memory has not been. So there is the end. What happens at the end? What is epic at the end? He knows what he wants to happen at the end. He has all of that, I hate to say planned because it says antagonistic to freedom, but has it all planned. The only thing that is not concrete is the finder, what the finder does at the end. If the finder doesn't do all the things that he's supposed to do, the real solver finder, whatever you want to call it, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, then Forrest doesn't make it work. In order for Forrest to succeed, he has to guide somebody with the information that he's given to a place that person has to be in order to seal whatever it is that needs to be sealed at the end. And if you're just talking about a chest, a solve of 9 locations, going against everything that Forrest said, if you're just talking about that, you didn't take part in the thrill of the chase. You weren't listening to Forrest. You don't understand what's going on, and you don't know how to complete this epic story that's supposed to take place. Whether it, I don't know if it's a play or a movie or just a, epic. But those things are supposed to take place. Mary, I never got any money, never met FF. I think he did remote viewing or time travel or such, but no other option I can think of. No, again, the other option is that he just read it in the poem that he wrote. But, like I say, he doesn't know me from Adam. There is no way that he can, hi MJ, how you doing? Hey Ben, is, good voice to hear. Is your monitor fixed? Did you see the picture? I was trying to get the broken mirror look along with the end of the rainbow, all in one thing in your broken monitor. And I was explaining that whilst you're waiting for me to do my video, the other video, it doesn't mean to say that we collaborate. It just means to say that Forrest wrote this into the poem and it was supposed to happen that way. That I would do a video before you showed us your clean-shaven face. And it wasn't hard to deduce that it would be a broken monitor because Ashley said in her stream, fearing to turn the monitor around when Mama Q was talking about, I can't remember now, but she said hers is there and she's going to, and then she went, no, because of the kids. So it's quite possible that something happened to the monitor that she was afraid to mess with because of, what could happen. So that was, that part there. But thanks for the good voice to hear. It's a nice writing to read, although it's not written, it's typed. So that might be something that Forrest would know. NFJ, it's many things. It is many things. I don't know. Mario's, I will sell you why. Don't know what that means. Boo boo. Boo boo. No one would normally go into a poem to find a chest. It's in a place you wouldn't normally go. There could be some issues with that INFJ, but I don't want to say it publicly. But there could be, which I, voiced to Forrest when I wrote him an email. Say a little prayer. Waiting for my message to arrive. That's me, SSH. Sage. Thanks for the show. Thanks, Steve. Dillard, you need a message. Oh, Dillard, you need a message? I have the complete tro from the stagnant to the beauty, MJ, at message. Don't mess with my age. Hey, Mama Q. Talking about you, but not, horribly. You and Esther having a conversation about the same thing that Ashley was trying to show us, but didn't show us because she was fearful of the monitor that, stopped Ben from doing his stream. So what I want to get across is the communications that people assume take place, they don't take place. The agreement for Wyoming is not, or does not have to be, a verbal or written or whatever communication. There doesn't have to be any communication, just the knowledge of both parties that this is the case. And SHILOH and the finder working together, there doesn't need to be any communication between the two. There just needs to be an understanding of what's happening in the chase, and they're both heading in the same direction. Maybe at different points of the road, but heading in the same direction. And the same when I say Ben is waiting for me to do a video. Ben's not sitting there waiting for me to do the video to come out. It's just in regards to the script that's been written in the poem about the thrill of the chase, 9 Mile Hole Jack and everything. This is how it's supposed to work. And Forrest wants to know how he can make it happen the way that it's supposed to be. It was supposed to happen, according to the poem, with me doing my video first, or videos. I've done the video, but I haven't put it out. So me doing my videos first, and then Ben doing the shave information. And still surprised why you said September the 19th. Although not surprised, but surprised you said it. Or said September. Bearing in mind that it was found, in September on the 19th. So, is that a legal thing in regard to, the thrill of the chase, or is it something that Forrest wrote in? Because, we all know it, it wouldn't take much to send a shovel through the post, and it wouldn't take long to get there. So going to pick up a shovel, 500 miles away from where you are is very strange indeed. But if Forrest wants it to work the way that it's supposed to be, and even those people that say that Forrest is not with us, SHILOH wants it to work the way that it's supposed to be, because that's what his grandfather wanted. So it doesn't matter whether Forrest is still with us, although, I hope he's still with us. And I'm not meaning to upset anybody by saying that I think he is. But even if Forrest isn't, then SHILOH is still, working towards his grandfather's wishes and making this happen the way that it's supposed to be. And it's supposed to be, according to the poem, that I did a video about it first, and then Ben does whatever Ben does. And Ashley, of course. So this is meant to be the way that it's meant to be. It has to be the way that it's meant to be. And he said that about the poem. The poem had to be like that. That's the way the poem had to be. Had to be like that. And that also explains the word halt. Why use the word halt? It's quite simple to put the word balk there. There's no reason not to have the word balk there in the normal scheme of reading that poem as a rhyme. So, that should send up signals. But then Forrest says, show it to a child, they have better eyes. Well, all those people that have done all these magical solves, what does that have to do with a child having better eyes? It's not how you read the poem. It's how you see something in the poem. If a child has better eyes, it's not because they can read it better than you. They just see things differently than you. So therefore, there has to be something, that you can see, that you can understand, not that you can read it. So a slightly different way of looking at the poem, in the sense that you're not just reading it, or you shouldn't just be reading it. So there is a simple solve. And it's not me being clever. I'm not smart. This is me just going, well, Forrest said this. It's a simple solve. When you find out what it is, you're going to think, why didn't I think of that? Which is, there was only ever going to be one spot. So why people look at the 9 locations, I have no idea. And I'm probably saying too much, but it is near the end. And I've already said all these things. But if somebody tells you there was only ever going to be one spot, why do you just assume that there was only going to ever be one special spot, and not, I only have to go to one place? The poem is all about one place. I go to one place and I find the chest, and that's it. It doesn't get any simpler than that. And you don't need to do anything to the poem. You read the poem and it tells you where it is. And that's the place that you go to. And that's it. And you go right straight to it. You don't do any searching. So all those people that are searching, that have 9 different locations, it's like, what are you doing? That's not what Forrest said. He never said that. Your interpretation of it makes you do those things, but it's not what he said. So if there's only ever going to be one spot and you walk past it, first 2 clues, I don't see the difficulty in understanding that. I really don't. There's only ever going to be one spot. Solve the first 2 clues, walk right by the chest. Little girl from India can't get closer than the first 2 clues. Solve the first 2 clues, it's academic. Solve the first 2 clues, you're 50% there, metaphorically speaking. It's like, why are you going somewhere else? The home of Brown in anybody's solve who has 9 locations, or 6 locations, or 7 or 8, whatever, the home of Brown is not number 6. It's not number 5. It's probably not even number 4 in any of those solves. It's impossible then to walk past the chest at clue 2, or after clue 1. It's impossible to walk past the chest unless you start at a place, go to 9 different locations, and come back to the same place, which is somebody in the audience saying, Forrest, you find yourself doing the loop. Watch her, she's dangerous. So that's the only way you can explain that. If not, it's at the home of Brown, and solving the first 2 clues takes you past the chest. That's it. That's as simple as it is. And I don't get how people don't see that. And that's what, all those things that added together make me think, hang on, all these names in the poem, these people don't even know the poem, so they're not real searchers. They can't be. They can't be. And then they say these things, but worse than that, I have the complete clue, so heard that, sorry, worse than that. La di da. La di da, I don't know. La di da. All things in their time and their place. Exactly. That's la di da. Yes, that's la di da. Today's lesson: if a clue F being of wings, what vessel carried him and his wings? Air Force, Navy, or Royal Military? Well, that's why I ended up at Casper, the Casper Mountain, because of the Air Force insignia looking like the mountain. Steam will carry you away in any water to halt or temp boiler room. He's getting. Hey, Otis. As long as you are remembered, you're still not dead. Who knows? Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. But, in all of this, the one thing that I wanted most was to meet Forrest Fenn, the man that did this. Doesn't matter if his name's, Joe Bloggs. Doesn't matter if, it doesn't even matter if it wasn't him. If he was a front for somebody else, it doesn't matter. This person that went through all of this for the thrill of the chase, even if he was going through this, for somebody else. I think it's, who is the real Forrest Fenn? I hope nobody ever finds out. To take that much time out of your life to do the thrill of the chase, to front the thrill of the chase, to go through, the crazies, and I don't know how crazy they were, I don't know everything that is thrill of the chase related. There's stuff that I haven't bothered looking at. It happened before me. So I started reading the book from the middle. I didn't read it from 2010, up to 2020, however long it goes on to. I was reading it from probably 2018 onwards. Whenever I came into the chase, I was reading it from then. I was trying to work out what this was about. And there's more than one story in there. And I've told everybody before in the other videos that I've done. I was reading about a queen. I was reading about the Blackfoot Indians. I was reading about, walking down Igo Road, southwest Wyoming, walking down Igo Road. It's like, how can you read this stuff and it not be correct? But then I was also reading about going down Quat Road in towards Casper, so past Newcastle, past what's it called? I can't remember what it's called now. Hawlins, is it called Hawlins or Rawlins? Rawlins, going past that way towards Casper Mountain, go down Quat Road where there's a radio station. Reading it as a map, and it's like, how can any of this be wrong? But then you have to factor in, well, Forrest Fenn said this. And it's like, oh, well, that probably means that's wrong then. And I've told you before, I even got to the point where it was 1111. And I was typing in a code and walking into a place. And it's like, nobody's going to beat that solve. That's the best solve there is. I've gone to this place and this is definitely it. And I was so gutted when my mind goes to what Forrest Fenn says. And he says, it's not associated with a man-made structure. It's like, I'm gutted. It's like, no way. This is probably the best solve that, I've come up with. It's in a place where nobody's ever going to find it. I found these numbers and it has to be this then. The door was number 9 and it was a green door. And it's like, this is it. This is definitely it. This is definitely it. There's nobody going to beat this solve. No one. Never. Ever. No one's going to beat this solve. I can go to that place, type in this number, open the door, go in and get the chest. And it's like, well, it's not associated with a man-made structure. And I'm thinking, oh, there's no way. And I fell out with Forrest lots of times, not, personally, but it's like, you made me do all that. I did all that. And it's not that. And he slapped me around the face, loads of times. He said, what did I tell you? It's like, you should know better. You shouldn't have even bothered, doing that solve. You should have stopped at Warm Water's Hole. That's where you should have stopped. And, the misconception that people have, hang on where. Interesting writer for this video, story is written in a poem, in a book. Did the solver write the read of the poem in another poem? Is Ben scheduled to shave? Ben is scheduled to shave, whether he has or not, that he's here, I think, so he can answer that for himself. We need pictures though, Ben. We need the process. I did warn you, it's like cut it first. There's a big process in that. I've done it and you can't just. So, two can keep a secret if one is dead. Is it in the print, second print, or third print that way you want to get? Oh, wow, he's good. That's almost like saying, there's a face. Like Zozo keeps saying, if there's not a picture of you holding the chest, then it didn't happen. Trust me, there's a picture in the poem. The face, elbows, hands on the chest. There's a picture that Forrest drew in the poem. Hey, Greg, how's everyone doing on this great day? It's all good. It's all good. I don't know. I think getting the gold would be reason enough to not keep quiet. Your lucky day. Wave. I thought you waved already, so but wave back anyway. I think that's really John Travolta coming in each time, Greg. What about Jack seeing the treasure first and then looking up and saw the blaze? The blaze is definitely up, but then you have to look quickly down. Greg, your boot is one missing. Oh, I used to wear that aftershave. It's quite nice. Interesting, Mario. When are you going boots on the ground? There is no boots on the ground for me. I told Forrest I wasn't searching anymore. I was happy with my solve. I know where that chest could have been, but it's in a place you would not normally go, and I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go there. I'd defy anybody to go there. I wouldn't go there. So I'm not going there. That boots on the ground wouldn't take place. I wouldn't go there just to prove that. But that's for the chest, and this wasn't about the chest. So the chest is going to be donated. Whether you found it or not, it's going to be donated. It's going to go back, Forrest said. So finding the chest is inconsequential, if that's the right word. If you find the chest and there's something in the chest that tells you what this really is about, then you have to find the chest and then take the chest and go in peace. Or you make a decision, do you want the chest, or do you want to give the chest back and have the other stuff? If there's something like that. But if there's information in the poem that tells you what the other stuff is, then you don't really need the chest because the chest is going back. So therefore, the chest can be retrieved and given to the Smithsonian or whichever museum that was said. I know Cooper at one point went to Denver in a secret room, and you're going to find Forrest in his car at the Denver Museum, so it would make sense that it would be the Denver Museum. That's where it would be. So the end of the chase is not somebody finding the chest, it's Forrest in his car at the Denver Museum, and that didn't happen. I have the broken blaze in my driveway. Mara, just for you, because English is everyone's second. The chase has new plates between prints. You do the math. Mara, what do you think of SHILOH announcement? What's the announcement? I thought you said a while back that the chest needs to be put back into the gallery. No, I said it needs to go into a museum. It needs to go back wherever Forrest said. Forrest made the statement that he got the chest, got a good deal, paid too much for it, but he always talked about it going back. So however that, to me, I'm saying the chest and everything's going back, not just the chest. So it's going to be somewhere, for everybody to see, and that's, fine by me. if I was the finder or the solver or whatever, the chest going back, that's fine. What was the SHILOH announcement? You had to find the vehicle that takes you to the chest. Well, I thought you needed a vehicle for the poem, so that was the book. Many things. Hey there. Well, yeah, because, I think Ben might expand on it. So there's stuff that I might know that might not be said or should not be said. So, Ben had the phone, so he knows what needs to be said and what doesn't need to be said. I didn't think he would talk about September, but he did. So give some of the things, please. What does that mean, give some of the things, please? Where are the screenshots of the vehicle will let you know the area is correct, but we can't load it on here. The blaze is quoted in the Remembrance of Forrest Fenn article. Hold on, I'll try. It's fine by me. What's fine by you, Mr. Pilot? Dylan Denton, laugh out loud. Yes, a vehicle forward with a trunk. Air Force FF got his wings. That came a bit late. Magic Bullet, Blaze, Kareem. Yeah, you see, sometimes, Bill, you say some good stuff, and sometimes I'm like, what? SHILOH said, my fun and answers. Well, like the epic ending, I don't know if you heard it, but there's a story in the poem which is epic, which is all about the thrill of the chase. So Forrest wrote this story in the poem and he's going to make it happen the way that it's supposed to be. Now that could mean having Jack as the finder, etc., or getting someone to understand that he wrote a story in the poem, which is a virtual story in a virtual poem, and whoever can read that story will be able to read the poem and find out the answers. And again, it doesn't have to be me and Davey B, because whoever the solver is would be doing what I'm doing, in the sense of the solve and the understanding, but not saying nothing, because you don't need to say nothing. The only reason I'm saying something is not because I'm the solver or trying to tell you that I'm the solver. It's because people were saying bad things about Forrest. Now, the word abstract might mean something different to Forrest than it does to other people. But I think if you look up those words, which you're supposed to do, look up the words, you will find out when people say that, Jack is fake. Or, you would understand why Forrest wants to warm up to it. He doesn't want to get the bracelet back in the post or whatever. It's all information that gives you answers, truthful answers. As I said in that video, there's truth and proof at the footprints that you're supposed to follow to the home of Brown. That was the answer to the chest. And there is other information that Forrest gave that is also truthful, but because you're not understanding the words that are saying, it'd be like Forrest speaking French and you assuming by the tone of his voice that he means certain things, and that's not the case. Ford is in Michigan. I was there and toured the plant museum. Vortex Fireworks. My personal interview with searchers. You never interviewed me. Boo. Greg, you never interviewed me. Or Davey B. All Fords are pure German. I took pictures of Ford trucks with tanks and a picture of the gold nugget, I think. German. 7. Another book and photographs. Is Fords of all. See, sometimes I have no idea what sort of English that is. Like, if it was Forrest, I'd think, hang on, he's put it in the poem for me to find in the poem, and I'll read it in the poem and it'll make sense. But just reading it in chat, it's like, what? Von Braun is German. Well, Braun is German, which, goes to the rockets and those things. Those were his idea of fun and answers. And with him personally. Read the text precisely. Your text or this text in the poem text. So I fear reading what I read because it might be information that shouldn't be out in the public domain. So I try not to say, I say everything that I know. Over the course of time, I say everything that I know. But I say it in a way that you don't understand it unless you've gone to the effort that I went to understand it. Davey B! Hi, Mitch. How you doing? It is important to the story, but I'm leaving that to the finder. Exactly. The story, the epic story. No one else has Forrest Fenn's permission to share it, in my opinion. Ben, don't you even try to play me. In the Discord, Sophia. Play you? All I said was read his text precisely. Follow the 9 clues precisely. Will lead to the end of the rainbow, end of my rainbow, and the treasure. So therefore, firstly, you have to understand that a rainbow doesn't have one end. So if you go to one end of the rainbow, it could be the wrong end. Whilst there might be something at each end, if it leads to the end of his rainbow, it could lead to the end of the rainbow where there's nothing. And on the other end, it could lead to the end of the rainbow where there's something. Or it could lead to the end of the rainbow where there's a lure, and it could lead to the end of the rainbow where there's a trove. So you have to firstly try to understand the information that you're given. To the end of the rainbow, end of my rainbow, and the treasure, you first have to understand what is being said there. Because if you don't understand what's being said there, how can you continue to solve the poem? So the first thing that should come to mind, as far as I looked up all the words in the poem, especially the nouns. It's like, hang on. If Forrest had to look up all of the words in this poem with these simple words, really simple words, there's no way he looked up all the words in this poem just to write the poem the way that it is. That poem could have took 20 minutes, if that, for Forrest, if it was just that. But to look up all the words, if you just did, begin it where warm waters halt, you got no chance, because you have no understanding of the words. Are you shaved? Going to shaved? I'll go over it next time I'm live and shaving. So you haven't shaved. If you're going live, I thought you were going live today. I was hoping you're going live today. I was going to, do a quick this and then go. Braun is a charter, just as Jolly Green Giant is Hidden Valley. Braun is German as. Yes, exactly. I saw Bigfoot in the air. Took a pic of the foot. The paper towel and giant guy with peas is brown. Paper towel or a turkey feather. Ooh, that sounds like bourbon and whiskey. That hunt, which I thought was the post things for the airplanes. There, I had a place for it, but I think I told Cal about it. That bourbon, tea and bourbon, whatever it was, that thing. It was near Texas. Was it in Texas? Where did I think it was? Anyway, I did that quickly and thought, oh, that's where it is. Ben, why are you shaving? Nothing yet. And I know why SHILOH came out. Maybe you want to know the reason he made this thing, because I know. Oh, maybe you want to know the reason. The beginning of the rainbow was Rainbow Hot Springs, a 4-mile walk to. No, he said if you're walking more than a mile, you're walking too far. So a 4-mile walk can't be correct. It's like, don't, even if I did that, and I've done, the Craig Place, Steamboat Springs. What are the other ones that I've done around there? I can't think now, but it's like when you do those, you're going more than a mile. And it's like, if Forrest is telling you it's not more than a mile, then all of your clues need to be within a mile of the beginning, not within a mile of each other. So they need to be a mile of where you start, within that mile, otherwise you're going too far. Not today, Mary. We had to put. Oh, I'm sorry. What, Doc? Oh, I'm sorry for you. Oh, let's put down on things. Hi, Anne. Queen, Anne. Yeah, I don't think you should be asking Ben to do anything, actually, Greg, if that's the case. Kill below the... Yeah, but that's specialised knowledge, Bill. It's like, why do people come on into chat and start explaining stuff that could possibly be anything to do with the solve when it's totally against what Forrest said? A child is not going to understand anything to do with 2 British regulars were killed below the home of Captain David Brown on April. Whilst it might have something to do, in the back of things with the chase, nothing to do with the answer. The dash hound is not China as it was Oscar Mayer first. Ooh, Oscar. There's a name. Go. Treasure Wars, I don't see it. Could you give a link? Took over 10 people try to take me down and they all lost. And you got to drive your car. Yeah, that's your opinion. Listen. Please. If you're walking more than a mile, you're walking too far. So you're saying you drive, then what do you do? Drive again? At some point you're going to walk, aren't you? So what do you do? Drive, and then just once you get to the last bit, you park right where the chest is and get out your car, walk 10 yards. Yes. Hey, Mr. Robert, how you doing? Michigan, here I come. Greg, go measure your doofy somewhere else. Who cares? Check the SHILOH text channel on the Discord. Oh, does that mean I have to go and look in the phone for the whole text? Today is indeed a sad day, a day for falling our friend. Yes, it is, and I can't, I don't see why anybody would want to, talk about anything else. Today, my opinion, yep. British regulars killed 2 blocks there. But I have facts why SHILOH came forward. He's worried now. Marrow depends on the search you seek. You can walk away in peace or keep walking. I am in peace, though. I don't know how many times I can say this. To me, it doesn't matter if Forrest, takes it with him. As far as I'm concerned, every bit of information that I think Forrest Fenn was trying to give out with regard to this chase, me and David B understand. And if that means that we don't tell anybody and Forrest Fenn can take it with him, then that, so be it. But as I explained before, if Forrest Fenn wanted to build a mansion and put all this stuff on this mansion in order to complete the task, the important part is getting the mansion built. So, he and everybody else, can have the hope of the hope and security of it. The mansion's built. There's other stuff that needs to be done, but that's just, frills and, I's and T's. But the mansion itself is able to provide, a home for everyone. And that part of it has been achieved. So he's succeeded in that endeavor. The rest of it, whether they be legalities or icing on the cake, and I'm talking, I don't know. Forrest says nobody can think my thoughts. So I don't know what Forrest wants to do in regard to the other stuff. But his initial fear of the chase, is complete. And let's not forget, Forrest said to tack on another year. So, if Forrest is still with us, then he'll be with us for at least another year after the end of the chase. Warm water halts your car at a roadside. It was posted into the school yesterday. Are the kids okay? Are they, coping? I mean, I'm finding it hard to think about stuff now because, if we're talking about dark, I don't get it. So the long test is the list by the I never know who is texting the left or the right side of the shots. Don't know what that means. Point, keep to the next of all in peace. See, that sounds like you're just reading out of the poem. Point, keep to the next of all in peace of the large treasure. Excuse me. Anytime I post a text, the grey bubble is Shiloh. I'm always the blue bubble. Mayor's opinions are only opinions, not facts. Mayor is capable of a correct solution due to bias. There is no bias, that's just it. And I haven't said I've got a solution for you. I've said here's information for you. So you either use it or you don't use it. It doesn't matter to me. I feel in the end, all will become clear. Only ever going to be one place. One place. That's it. I don't understand why people can't see it. And again, I'll go back to, you're either trolls or you've been, either paid. So you're either doing this voluntary or involuntary. Forrest is making people do it. They know they're doing it, or they're doing it and they don't know they're doing it. But Forrest is still, able to manipulate what happens in the chase. And that's his, can I make it work the way that it's supposed to be? He's having to not coerce, but manipulate people into doing the chase the way that he wants it to work. That's how it has to be. Now, those people, if they really are searchers and they have no idea what the chase is about, it doesn't really matter to Forrest because they'll go on their merry way, take the chest and go in peace. It won't matter because there is no chest, they found no chest, and they're irrelevant to everything that's going on. But those people that are involved in his thrill of the chase, that he's manipulating to do certain things at certain times, in whichever way that is, whether it be through NDA or, promise of reward or the love for Forrest Fenn or whatever it is, or the love of the chase. How that is, it doesn't matter. The fact is there is a story in the poem, and that story has unfolded right before your eyes. You've been given all the information about what's happening in the poem, and that's why it doesn't make sense to you, because it's happening in the poem. But that doesn't make it less true. This is a story that Forrest Fenn is talking to you about, and he's telling you, this is the truth of my story here. This story in this poem is a true story about this person, blah, 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 blah. And you're supposed to understand it as the story that's in the poem, not as the story that's real life. Because it wasn't about the chest. It doesn't matter where the chest was found. You're never going to get the chest. No one was going to get the chest. It doesn't matter where the chest was found. So, worst case scenario, you found the chest. You were such a miserable git. Do you want to keep the chest? That would probably screw things over a bit. In regard to the chest going back. But if you were half decent, or if you understood what this was about, or there was information in the chest that you could read. I mean, there's information in the chest that you've all seen. You've all seen it that tells you what this is about. And the fact that you don't see it means you don't know what this is about. Because it's there for you, along with the stick and the scissors and the key and the other stuff. It's all there. Forrest is, even in the lawyer's office, Forrest is giving you information and saying, look, this is what's happening now. In my story, in the poem, this is what's happening now. Now, if you're reading the poem, you'll understand that. If you're not reading the poem, you won't understand that. And Forrest is not talking to you. So take your chest and go in peace. He's not talking to you. He didn't solve it. He's not talking to you. But if he is talking to you, then you have to listen. I've tried to, me and Dave have conversations about it all the time. I've talked to, other people about how this can be looked at. And you don't have to believe me, but you do have to believe that Forrest has done something that is way beyond incredible and will give people hope. And those people who say Forrest is this person, Forrest is that person, Forrest is this person, no. Has to be Has to be way beyond whatever you can think. Way outside whatever you can think. Just how you conceive anyone of it. You can say it all day and they are locked. Lepty in the Netflix in the soul, like the X marks the spot. X is there in spirit if it's two V's stacked. Oh, yeah, nice way of doing that. How could West ever be West before the letter W? Yeah, that mountain man logic is awkward. I don't know. You only know what you're told to know. Imagination. Hey, Indy, how you doing? Or Otak, or however you wish to be addressed. It's good to read you. I've got free jacks, free chess, free of everything, I guess. Yeah, it's possible that there's three things, and one being diabolical. But you were told you're going to have 4 cards and a joker. But, what does that mean? Really, what does it mean? Or could it mean? Most searchers are arguing over the lure. Yeah, that's crazy. And saying they found it. That's even crazier. If it is the lure, why you are exactly. That'd be like one fish arguing with another fish that he just got caught. It's like, no, you're just glad. You should be glad that that person, bit on that hook and it wasn't you. And that you've got the ability to have another go. That's how you should look at it. It's like, oh, you fool. Why did you go for that lure? There's nothing at the end of that. There's nothing for you there. There's nothing for you there. And again, I'll go back to you're playing the wrong game. All these people that have got souls and say they found a chest are playing on this pitch, and Forrest is playing on another pitch, and nobody's even spectating or involved in it. And that's what this is about. Forrest is going to succeed, or has succeeded, in his endeavour, because it was about that, not about anybody finding a chest. He never said, oh, sitting by the juniper fire past midnight, I wonder if I can get somebody to find my chest. He said, I wonder if I can make it happen. I wonder if him himself, can make it happen. It's got nothing to do with anybody finding a chest. Nothing. Unless, I can't say nothing. So finding the chest starts the second part. Or somebody finds the second part before they find the first part. Or finds both parts. I'm aware, Mona, we talk about the same things, yet we never talk to each other. Yeah, that's crazy. And that's what I was saying about, these statements that are made. When I say Ben is waiting for me to do a video, I don't mean me and Ben talk and we, make a date for when these things happen. I mean, according to the poem, Forrest wrote that I'm going to do the video first and then Ben will do what he's going to do. That's what the poem says. And it says that it's a broken monitor. Because of a broken monitor, that Ben doesn't do it. Now, that is either a real, true, factual statement. The kids did break the monitor and that's why they couldn't do it. Or they're following the script that's in the poem. Either way, it's crazy because this script was wrote before 2010. But it's a factual statement. The statement is in the poem, including the other stuff. But unless you're reading the poem, you won't know. And, if you don't want to believe, you don't want to believe. But I can tell you now, there was only ever going to be one spot. You don't need 9 locations. You don't. And that's how simple it is. And I wish I'd have thought of that. I wish I didn't go to 9 locations. I wish I just thought, he's talking about the same place. And he has to be talking about the same place when he says, if I told you the home ground, you go right straight to it. If you solve the first 2 clues, walk right by the chest. Little girl from India can't get closer than the first 2 clues. It's like, you don't need 9 locations. That is just stupid to think that. If you're being told the home of Brown. If you have the home of Brown, why are you worried about Warm Waters Holt? The very first clue that you need before you can start. The very first clue that you need before you can start the hunt. You won't know you have the correct Warm Waters Holt until you have the chest in your hands. So you can't start. You can't start unless you know. Unless you know. You have to know. It has to be nailed down. You have to know why warm is comfortable. You have to know why contentment. You have to know all of the things that Forrest gave us in order to understand what Forrest has said. And if you don't understand any of them, you're going to find it very difficult to make Forrest happen the way that it's supposed to be. And by saying, make Forrest, you don't have to do nothing as a solver or the finder for Forrest to make it work. Forrest is going to make it work with or without you. If somebody finds a chest, fine. If someone doesn't find the chest, it can still happen. I'll talk about his thrill of the chase. Not ours, his. He wants to make it happen the way that it's supposed to be. It's his thrill of the chase. Excuse me. And if you think that you're involved in it without knowing that, I find it hard. It's the prophecies and the bloodline, in my opinion. Well, I think when you talk about Medici, you were more along the right lines than prophecies and bloodlines, although that's not to say that it isn't. I was only concerned about one of them, the whole card one. Yeah, what is a whole and what is a card? And what is a whole card? It's some sort of knowledge and information about something. Oh, here, pew. Poem. Purist. That is what FF wanted. Yes. Or a redneck, which is also a purist. If you look up the word redneck, it's a purist. With 12 kids. Throw the roll in the back of the car with grandma. I did not find FF saying any lie. Problem is one. And that's what I was saying. If Forrest was talking French and you misunderstood what he was saying, that's your fault, not his. You should learn French. So if Forrest is speaking Fenn speak, then you have to learn Fenn speak. And part of that is I looked up all the words in the poem, especially the nouns. If you crack the chest motif, why are others worried about the gold? Well, I don't know why they're worried about the chest full stop. If the chest is just a lure, then why are you worried about it? Forrest was content with his life and ready to end it. You said you must have the chest in hand in order to know you have the correct soul. No, he didn't. He said you won't know you have the correct warm waters halt until you have the chest in your hands, which means you can't start unless you know where you're going to finish. Pretty much. Unless you know how, having the chest in your hands, unless you know the point of start and the point of finish, start and end it where warm waters halt, unless you know, no. So you have to have the correct warm waters halt before you can have the chest in your hands. And if you don't have it, then you won't have it. So you won't know you have it unless you do have the chest in your hands. There is no problem with the poem. Then it must be that searchers cannot interpret the poem the way Forrest wanted, or you would all be in the same place, and you are not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not just Medici. It's the Sybil that she's the story. So the understanding of it could be part of it. So Forrest, however you look at it, it's about knowledge and understanding. Whether it be Forrest's knowledge and understanding of what it is that he's trying to do, or us as searchers, our knowledge and our understanding. But whichever it is, we have to, Forrest said nobody can think my thoughts, we have to try and think like Forrest. Well, we can't do that because he said nobody can think like me. So then we have to hear what he says. If he is speaking a foreign language to us, which we all agree he was, it's Fenn speak and nobody understands what it is, or Fenn talk, we all agree that he's speaking a different language to us, then we have to learn the language of Forrest Fenn. And nobody wants to do that. It's too difficult. Or they get bored, or they get distracted, or whatever it is. Whichever the reason it is that they use, Forrest wanted somebody with the mettle and resolve to say, okay then, teach me what it is that you're bloody saying. I'll just keep doing the same thing over and over and over until I understand what it is you're saying. And, I was asking somebody the other day, how does language start? Imagine the beginning of time for humans. How does one person talk to another? They don't. It's impossible. Apart from, what does that mean? What does that mean? And then you have to convince that person that means give me that piece of meat that you're eating. You see how it works? You can't start that conversation unless you listen to the first person that's going, ooh, making the funny noises. Then that person has to learn what he's saying. So between the two of them, at some point, they're going to get a language that they understand. All those clicks and moans and groans and whatever means something to them too. But then they have to tell a third person, they have to tell a fourth person, and they have to tell a fifth person to try and understand language. Because at that very beginning, there is no I, me, we, you, they, us. There is no, please, thank you. There's no understanding at all. Just people looking at each other going, I don't know what you're saying. So you had to understand what Forrest was saying. You had to understand what he was saying. So his knowledge would then become your knowledge if you were listening to what he was saying. Not if you were listening. If you were listening and you understood what he was saying. If you take it all the way back to your effort being worth the gold or cold, there is no problem with the poem. It must be it's not just I've done that. Come on, what's in baseball? Yep. I'll say a prayer for you and him, all of you. Kids too. That's wow. But thanks for coming in. I'm expecting you to shave on, a nice good pair of scissors. Start with the scissors, save some. In years to come, people will, want to know or remember that this man did this thing. Yeah, I think, some people might not think it's anything special, but I think it is. You made a statement and you followed it through. Not just you, but, Ashley as well, because there are many women out there that would have said, get that thing off your face. And would have had that conversation. It's got to be 7 months, 8 months since you started it. So yeah, the conversation, for some people in some households would have been, that's enough now. That's enough. Ben, get rid of it. And you didn't. So, fair play to you. And I don't know if you know it, and I don't know if, people in the chase know it. The fact that you did it, you gave people hope. As soon as they found out you were shaving it, and, they can lie all they want, but they were happy. It meant something to them that you were going to have a shave. That's priceless. The fact that you said you were going to have a shave made a lot of people happy. Not just because you look a steak with it, I don't mean that you look a steak with it. Not because, you look bad, but because you were giving them hope as to what happens in the future. So go watch your baseball. I hope your team wins. Thanks for popping in, if you haven't already gone. You could think the whole card is... Don't know what that said. I'm missing all of this. Wow, you've said a lot. Paul, how are you doing? How's it going, my friend? Glad to see you. Forrest Kurt Cobain killed himself. I guess I'll see you eventually, Ben. Find yourself in history close to the treasure. Hi, everyone. I'm back. Uh-oh. Sounds like Jack. What's his name? Don't know. Shining. Lots of history involved, but not necessarily no, not to solve the problem. Just go back to the Cosmo. I don't want to go there. I've been there. I started at Chaos. Went all the way through to all these foreign people, Danyani, whatever her name is. To Jupiter, Zeus. To Jupiter, Zeus, and all them. No, don't want to go back there. To keep secret if one dead, the Alamo Davy never found them. Cody's David D being his second name. Sounds like Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I sent the poem to Forrest in French, and he replied, "Sorry, I don't spracken that language." Davy, your king left his brother to his New England. Yeah, in Australia. I don't think you have. Oh no, yeah, I still got the king. Yeah. Then as ever drew a 9 was the first clue. I thought I solved generally as doing the type. That's going to come to Underwood, the Underwood typewriter. Isn't that in the stoof.com? Isn't that the typewriter there? Hey, Con941, how you doing? New England is only new if the old left behind. Thanks for the smiles, Mary. You're a good man. Thank you. Hey, Fendi, what happened to that stream the other day? I was telling Davey B that you did a video and I was talking to you and then it just disappeared. Like, oh, see ya. But yeah, it was good while it lasted those few minutes. I hope you're well, my friend. Chuck Albin. Time that's at to take place to figure in Ooh. Yep, that is the problem when you cannot go back. Guess he's back again. Yes, I understand that, Dylan, but what does that have to do with the SHILOH recent text? You could have sold the poem the day the book came out. However, like I said many times before, we would still be where we are today, even if you did. Yeah, and that's a true statement. If the finder solver, whoever, was on board with what Forrest Fenn was doing. There was talk that Jack was blackmailing Forrest. I think that's slightly out of context, but if that did happen, if somebody did find the answer straight off the bat, then maybe they would have had a choice. SHILOH was never, and is never, as the poem is not his to mess with. I don't know what that means. SHILOH was never and is never. Don't know what that means. Somebody must have said something, but I don't know what that means about SHILOH. Chocolate lozenge. Fanny, you crap me up. Miss talking to you. Yeah, we all do. He should do them shows. He should, be on YouTube and, have his panels and let us come on and have chats and enjoy ourselves and have fun like you're supposed to in the chase. The time for the effort worth the cold has changed over time. 2019 COVID, 2023 and 24. It took 7 years of geo of history to be in my mind. Thanks, Benny. Thanks for the beard video too. Yeah, the problem with the poem is if people start reading it, they'll read whatever they want as opposed to whatever the poem tells them. And that's, you have to get rid of the bias. So you have to imagine that Forrest is talking to you. First, you have to find out who you are in the poem. So, if it was Fendi, he would be Fendi. And he'd be talking to Fendi. He wouldn't be talking to Chuck or whoever, whatever name Fendi has. He wouldn't be talking to that person because that's not who exists in the Thrill of the Chase. So he's going to talk to the person that he knows who contacted him. So if you contacted him as Henry Doolittle, and your name here is Donny Osmond, then he wouldn't contact you as Donny Osmond. He'd talk to you as Henry Doolittle because that's the person that he knows you are. And remember, he said, don't tell me you found a chest. I don't even need to know your name. So he knows, and he already knows the answers because he said that in the poem. So anyone who found a chest, based on the information that they think Forrest Fenn gave them, he already knows what the answers to that information is. And you don't need to tell him. He already knows that. And he already knows who you are because you sent him an email saying who you are and, what you believe. Which is just, proposing that you have a location for a chest. But if you start in a random warm waters hole, you have no idea that that's the correct warm waters hole. It's just what you believe. And you go to 9 different locations which end at a blaze, and you don't know it's the right blaze because you know what a blaze is, or the blaze that Forrest is talking about. And therefore, you're going to find a chest because that's what you're saying the blaze is, and that's where you think the chest should be. So therefore, you're going to find a chest because that's what you started out doing. You were always going to find a chest. Once you started your solve, you're always going to find a chest because you're going to make whatever blaze came to you at that point, whatever blaze that was that you thought was at the end of that quest that you did, there was always going to be a chest there because you made it that way, not because it really is that way. You don't know what a blaze is. So you don't know what your warm waters hole is. It's not correct. It's not nailed down. And you don't know what the blaze is because you just made that up because that's where it finishes in your search. And it's like both of those are just made up. They're what you think they are, not what Forrest Fenn says, Because Forrest said, nobody can think my thoughts. So therefore you cannot. The first point of call, you can't think of it. And if you did, you don't know it's Forrest Fenn's thought, and you walk right by it because you don't know that you have it nailed down and correct. Now, those are words from Forrest Fenn. I'm not trying to be clever. I'm not trying to tell you, teach you to suck eggs. I'm saying, look, this is it. This is the truth. The information from Forrest Fenn says whether you're right or wrong, or correct or not. Here's information. You just have to listen to it. If you're walking more than a mile, you're walking too far. Right, okay, I'm walking 3 miles, so that's wrong, so I'll start again. I deserve another turn. Oh, it's below 5,000 feet. Oh, it can't be that. Oh, it's above 10,200 feet. Can't be that. It's in a place where people would not normally go. Oh, well, mine's in a place where people would go, so it can't be that. It's in an isolated spot. Well, mine isn't in an isolated spot, so it can't be that. There is plenty of information that Forrest has given out that could destroy a solve. And that's actually, you have to do it. You have to use that information to say, oh, hang on a minute. My solve is in a place that people go every day. Potentially walking, within 10 feet of where I think the chest could be, which is what I said to you. I went to America and I was standing in a field and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, hold up. Somebody could walk 12 feet from me in this long grass and find the chest, but Forrest said nobody's going to stumble on it. So me coming out here looking for a chest, no. Anybody who's looking for a chest is going to stumble on it. So that's not the solve. It can't be the solve. If you are looking for it, it can't be the solve. So therefore, you have to do what Forrest Fenn said. Go right straight to it. How can you go right straight to it? By going to the home of Brown. That's it. That's your solve. It's done. It's finished. You don't have to do anything else. Forrest told you the answer again and again. Go right straight to the home of Brown. If you have the home of Brown, why are you worried about Warm Waters Holt? So don't worry about Warm Waters Holt. Go right straight to the home of Brown. Hang on. You said that if you didn't have Warm Waters Holt, you'd have nothing. But now you're telling me to go to the home of Brown? Well, there's only ever going to be one spot. That's how simple it is. But you don't want to listen. 4 years later, you still don't want to listen. That's crazy. But that's for a chest. The chest Justin has was stamped on the bottom using the R twice to cover it up. Go look. France used their own name, not to mention a cast. Chest. Don't stamp maker's name when casted. You don't know whose Warm Waters Holt, where Warm Waters Holt I have. It's not about whether we know, it's about whether you know. It doesn't matter what I think. I have to go for dinner. Okay, Sophia, hope to keep up, but it's hard. Illness is oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, well, I'd get a different med person then. But everybody's going to say that they're the solver, and it's like, well, that's crazy. That's impossible. Oh, no, Tigger. No, she normally comes in at some point. Camera. Otherwise, my dying wish is that SHILOH or Fenn gets with the solver and ends this. Ian, been a long time. There used to be a homeless man in Durango named Little Beaver, and he used to walk around town looking the ashtrays for small cigarette butts. Cool guy. Durango, Colorado, that is, isn't it? I think I remember. Is that middle-ish Durango, if I remember? Going up? From the bottom going up, if I remember. I've been all over there. Lots of different bars are more prove as real to and then go about the way of you. Hey, Frank! To those discussing the poem, Purity, what if the poem was all the solver had to get into the within 12 foot of the chest? but he required clues from the books, interviews, and scrapbooks. No, I think if there is a solver, the solver used the poem, solely the poem, because anything else is tainted. Anything else is bias. If you're trying to use any information that you get out of the book, you then add bias to that information. So only a poem solver will do. And, I've said to other people, Forrest has to give you the answer. Has to give you the answer. So if you're using any external information, that's not Forrest giving you the answer. That's related to Forrest Fenn, but it's not him saying, this is the answer. That's you going, oh, well, he talked about such and such a place, so it might be such and such. Or he talked about this lady, and this lady is such and such. Or he talked about this place, and this place is such and such. And therefore, your own bias takes over. And you find a solve because of that. So the poem has to tell you. To get in within 18 inches, I couldn't figure the poem out. I solved it. Geoduck solved it. There you go. That's it. And I'm not going to deny or disagree with anyone who says they solved it, because I'm not Forrest Fenn and I don't know everybody solved. Those people who solved that I know, I am 100% certain it's not you, based on what Forrest Fenn has said. Not what you said, not that I disagree with your solve, but that Forrest does. And that's how I work my solves. If Forrest disagreed with me, I'm not going to say, Forrest, you're a liar, or Forrest, when you made that up, or Forrest, you're a fraud, or Forrest, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say, okay, Forrest, I got it wrong. Thanks, Sophia. I enjoy you coming in. Really good points. Frank was so judgmental in everyone yet himself. Yes, but, that's the way of the world. And some people never went boots on the ground at all. Laugh out loud. Yes, some people never went boots on the ground. I went once, but that was all I needed to know. You don't have to go boots on the ground. Not to go searching. There's a difference between going boots on the ground and go and get it. There's a big difference between going boots on the ground to go and get it than there is going boots on the ground to go searching. Because if you're searching, effectively, you're stumbling on it. And you shouldn't even go searching. If you're going to go searching to stumble on it, you're going against everything that Forrest Fenn said. No one's going to stumble on that chest. So if you're going to go looking, you're basically stumbling on that chest. And if you can stumble on it, guess what? Anybody can stumble on it. If it's in a place that you're going to go searching and you can stumble on it, you know it's in that area roughly, but you don't know exactly where, but you're going to go searching there. How do you know that somebody might just be walking along and it's like, oh, look, there's a chest. I wonder what's in it. Oh, all this. You are correct, Dylan. That's called confirmation bias. In my opinion, it isn't about the goal. It isn't about a solver. It's about humanity and proving that you can balance destiny. Well, yeah. I don't think it's definitely not. It's not about the solver. Although the solver, has a role to play, because Forrest is going to make it happen, and whatever the outcome will affect the solver. But I don't think the solver affects the outcome. If in the right direction, there's no solve. If any can be found of no count to end, dropping Easter eggs from the air brakes leaves treasures endless. Wow, you have to use the poem to find what Forrest wanted found. There's only one way in. That could be taken loads of different ways. But if there's only one way in, then you need to be in the poem to chicken kill. Chicken can kill from they high. Excellent point, Sophia. Oh, I hope she's still here to hear that. The asterisk at the end of the fishing line is the star on the cover of Once Upon a While. The star is Kingfisher. You can't stumble on a treasure that is not buried where you'll find it. But you have to look at that, because Forrest says, I don't want to say it's buried. I don't want to give that clue. And yet, there it is. You can't stumble on a treasure that is not buried where you'll find it. And, you can't. You have to find it. You have to know where it is before you find it. You have to know where it is and then go to it. It's not about the losers. I do not believe it. Did not get solved. Forrest wants a specific result, and that has been done. No, we listen. It's just, what people say is incorrect. No specialized knowledge. Anything that you bring from outside of that poem is specialized knowledge. It's that simple. Anything that you bring from outside of the poem is specialized knowledge, including the thrill of the chase. Because unless you have the thrill of the chase, unless you've read the thrill of the chase, you have no idea. So the statement, no specialized knowledge needed, is tantamount to saying all you need is the poem. See how that works? Somebody who has not read the Thrill of the Chase book can still solve the poem. That's what Forrest Fenn said. And if you do use the Thrill of the Chase book, that then becomes specialized knowledge to a person that hasn't read the Thrill of the Chase book. It's like, hang on, you have specialized knowledge. You read the Thrill of the Chase. You know what that's about. You're able to take the hints from the book and bring them to the poem. But you don't need that, which is why Forrest said it. You don't need it. So people get information, they don't hear what the information is. But the Thrill of the Chase book is specialized knowledge to a person that hasn't read the Thrill of the Chase. Someone who can call a stranger a loser will never balance humanity. No, finding the treasure is not about balancing humanity. Yeah, I think there was a big issue with Forrest Fenn that he wanted something done right. And that will balance stuff and give people hope. I never ever went boots on the ground. Forrest told me it was too far to walk. Yeah, he would have drowned swimming across that channel. Hey Luli, how you doing? It's good to have you here. And this is why you'll always be consumed by the car. Yes, but sometimes Bill says some really incisive and clever things, and it's hard to know whether he's just trolling or being, asked to misdirect or, I remember the video of him when he was asked what he would do if he found it, and the answer he gave was telling. He knows something, and it's not about the car. The car is much better than all the nighters with street. In that case, Candy, nobody in the chase can save humanity. Hey, Michael P. I'll take you up on that if ever I get there, but I have no team. And, my team is Davey, but I have no team here, if that's what you're saying. And, it's going to be difficult for Davey to get over there. So, I'm probably not going over there. It was up to Forrest, not Marek, Andy Street, or Greg. And nobody said that. And that's what Candy just said. It was about Forrest. And I think we're all saying it's about Forrest. Hey, Zozo. How you doing? I was talking to somebody today about the picture of someone with their hands on the chest. F smiles forever. The 21st century has not happened yet. Reading Roman numeral wrong. Roman numerals. Oh dear. 19th. Yes, 19th. No, 19th. None of them. So isn't that when Jack found the chest? Isn't that when Ben and Ashley going to Santa Fe? That's an exact time span. I'm not saying it's up to me, Bill. It's sad because you are intelligent and I do pity you. I hope one day you wake up. Yeah, sometimes some of the things said just don't make sense. And no need for them for a start. No, 9 before. 19. There's only one person in history who fits that bill, and everyone else falls short by far of that man. Trump's Cold Dr. Pepper, October 2024. Well, you'll be surprised how many people in the poem may be involved. Even Elon Musk and people like that may be involved in this. And going forward, at this point in time, whether directly or indirectly, known, they'll be involved in it. Whether they knew it or not, they'll be involved in it. You are so lost, you can't help yourself. You are so consumed by the gold set. Yeah, he taints that thought with, talking about Jesus. So, numbers before or after make it grow. See, those sort of things I understand. That, to me, that's English, but the other stuff I don't understand. I need pity. I don't need pity from any person. Everyone has a cross to bear. Who's casting the first stone? Well, don't think it works like that here. Why did Fenn call the chest indulgence? After calling it Tarzan? I think that's more important. And why is where the treasure lies not a given to the name of the poem? And do the titles in the Thrill of the Chase help? Probably. It's not who you are, it's who they think you are. Well, who you can make them think you are. You'll all learn one day. I don't know when, but it's coming, and you'll regret your gaslighting. Well, I don't think that I'm gaslighting. I think I'm just trying to say, what the poem offers and what you might be able to find. And if you don't want to look, I can't help that. Throws a handful of own stones at the glass house. Step aside, Frank. You are in my way. Dang, sorry, I missed the last of it. Luli, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate, if you watch it later, and I appreciate your videos. So you never need to be sorry. In my opinion, Fenn offered up an indulgence for redemption. Well, that's what's supposed to happen with the reliquary, blah blah blah. The way that it works, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to help you. You are your own worst enemy, and you are suffering from the Midas curse. Yeah, that's what I was doing when I went over to America. That realization. I mean, like how powerful that was to take my mind to a different place. I'm standing in the middle of a foreign country, spending money I didn't have, away from my wife that wasn't well, and realizing that I'm here for the wrong reason. Believing that I could go pick up this chest, put it in my pocket, or my bag, or whatever it is I had, take it to the airport and bring it home to England. It's like, what are you doing, Mario? What the heck brought you out here? Why? I'm not the brightest person, but I'm not normally that stupid, to think that I could just go out over there, find the chest, bring it back. What the heck? And that's purely greed. That's all I could put it down to. Mario, English is slang. Some Germanic, some Scottish, some Greek. Not Roman or Greek used as slaves to be called now man. Yeah, I do talk about that. The amount of people that were trying to kill us, basically coming over and take over. We've been invaded by that many people, and in all that, we then conquered. If it weren't for Britain, there'd be so many things that don't exist now, and in so many countries around the world. If it weren't for Great Britain taking over places. I'm not trying to be wassailing about that. I'm just saying that's how it is. But it meant that everything was diluted everywhere, like the whole world. They were diluted by us. We've been diluted. They've been diluted. And that's just how it is. And then you take the Americans and the Australians, British, English, whatever you want to call it. They're diluted, and that's just the way that it is. We diluted, well, went over there, and then those Native Americans, Native Indians, whatever you want to call them, they were diluted by us as well. Or you, however you want to look at it. Us, you, doesn't matter. Everyone was British or Spanish or, all been diluted by mixing with others. Oh, I miss what Queen said. Cody is custard. There are lots of stories in that poem. There are hundreds of stories in that poem. But there is one epic, which is why there's an epic ending. There's an epic story, and, you have to follow that. 11 of them. Yep, Queen, but the best one is Meru. Or said differently, but it's a play, find Hollywood. I'll marry Street when you marry Rose, Bill. I agree. He did say he loved to study the Catholic religion for it colourful something. Oh, something as a chase, eh? Rose just needs to call. Let me know. I told you the wood, old Knox. Rich is new and old. But it goes to a man-made structure and it's not there. Excuse me. Rich is new and old, and that's not even in one of the search states. Rich is new and old. I slept through multiple earthquakes this week, including this one. Wow. OTAT, you need to get out of there. It never has been a safe place, but history repeats. I wouldn't like to think that you were there. Dillard, that's why Forrest said you needed a program, but in that play is a real story, just like the dust cover says. Yes, you're given all the information, and it's hard to fathom that you don't see it or hear it or read it. You're given all the information, and it says this is the way to do it. This is it. Look, here you are. Here's the information. It's hard to believe that people don't hear it or see it. Frankie, Lakers fan, Albuquerque. Oh, is he one of yours, Davey? Laker? Hey, Frankie, did you not post some very graphic pics of Mr. Fenn after he passed? I was talking about them today. Part of the story. Yes, he did. Before he passed, he had purchased some ancient priest robes that I think had gold in there. The embellishments. Oh, it's going to embellish. Hey, Mr. Trusted. Hey, Zozo, have you run into any illiterate Egyptian slaves recently? I think you don't realise how clever these Egyptians were. Buffalo Bill Cody. Sorry, Tyler, you don't know your Cowboys. Tyler's here. I didn't even see that. Hi, Tyler, if you're here. No, they are all dead. North Carolina sure is far east. I keep getting mixed up with Fendi. Are you both in the same state, Indy and Fendi, or are you in different Carolinas? Along with house husband diaries, whatever. Frank, how do you come to that conclusion? The living dead, just like the zombie Adam. Because Forrest told my father, and he shared with me and my sons the conversation. Privileged knowledge. I think Forrest and Peggy are both alive. Ooh! I'm glad somebody else agrees. I hope so very much. I mean, I obviously believe it, but, people saying that he's passed or that Peggy's passed doesn't sit with me, but then I feel guilty that I'm trying to give false hope to people. So yeah. Well, when you don't give a last name, there are probably many Forrests and Peggies. The picture of the bullet hole, an inch over Forrest's left eye, rank is very interesting. I can only imagine the guilt he had for any deaths he took part in Laos, including his young co-pilot. Paying for your sins is a weird but true thing. Sure, Candy, does that make you feel superior now? I don't get it. Fenn, better. In my opinion, they are both secluded away at the Heidi location. I don't think they're there. I don't think they're at the Heidi location, but maybe they're in the wood. Maybe they're in the wood. Yeah, somebody put a picture of like a Egyptian, how they look, and then an African, how they look, and saying, one built, the pyramids, and another one built those mud huts. So yeah, trying to say that dark coloured people weren't Egyptian. Person of one denied, now all in history with only two is not a mistake. Davy Crockett, Alamo. Hemingway was in important literature because he shot himself. But he was also in Wonderland, wasn't he? And that makes more sense, along with Alice and the Wizard of Oz. Yellowstone is Wonderland, where he was. Fishing, like Forrest, in a certain place. No, it's just obvious. Fenn trusted your father probably based on his knowledge, and unfortunately you, Frank, lacked the emotional intelligence needed to move forward. Don't hold back, so what you think. George Washington, oops, a clue. George Washington, oops, a clue. I like that you have a Heidi location, which means there is a different retrieval location. Yeah, I think you have to be in the wood, though, don't you? That's the whole point of it. So, it's very possible that the Heidi location is the wood. Nicky! Woo! Bill Gorman, which picture of Forrest with the bullet hole over his left eye? He's talking about the ones that Frank put up. Death happens, but these searchers don't want to discuss it. If we are in this chat room, none of us has moved on at all. No. But, so, this is how it is. It's not a case of moving on, I don't feel. It's a case of understanding where you are. The thing is, before, it's possible that whilst we're all in the same place, nobody knew where they were. And it's a case of all trying to be in the same place and knowing where you are, who you are, where you are, what it is. And that's what we're trying to get to. And the only way you're going to do that is, to listen to Forrest, because he's trying to get us all to the same place. Why can't we just get along? Trying to give people hope. So he wants us all in the same place. And if you're not prepared to go to that place, he can't help you. As much as he wants to, he can't help you because you're not prepared to go there. That's not his fault. Hemingway was the largest director and was the boss to Gable. Did Forrest ever talk about being baptized? I feel I missed it if he did. I'm not sure. I can't remember that. Excuse me. Oh, in that case, I definitely want to know. Marion, my ancestors are linked to all. Yes, you said the Druids and that. Yeah, it's true. I'm not going to deny that. Oh, he's not going to deny that. How to learn to Walmart. Catch you later. This Walmart stuff. Say hi to Alison and Stanley Cronker and all those people that own it. Forrest talked about Walmart quite a bit. The finder solver would not need clues. That is why would be the finder solver. The treasure has been found long ago. All those giving info are trying to help others understand the chase. See you later, Steve. Can you get me some milk and some bread while you're there, please? Do they sell milk and bread there? Don't have to do. My ancestor 2 links to this. Oh, see, now it's all coming out, these people that know stuff. These are not the searches you're looking for, Obi-Wan Kenobi. F is not religious because to be religious you have to be religious. He's just read. Get me some anti-cult repellents. Not Gucci yet, Steve Klein. Thank you. I have moved on, and maybe that is a problem for the ending. I am ill with no money for treatment. It is far more important to give all medical to none. Yeah, bit rough. It really is rough. Mind you, they're just as bad here. All of your names are in the poem. Hey, Queen, and Forrest mentioned he was recovering Southern Baptist, so he most likely was baptized, of course. Trusted with the obvious. Yes, that was mentioned. Was it earlier or another time? Not just the Druids. It starts with, yeah, okay, if you want to be like that, I'll meet you at Stonehenge. Thanks, Trusted. Davy B knows more than he can legally say. Yes, Davy B does know. Forrest never recovered from the truth. Your truth? I think Forrest always had the truth and didn't need recovering from it. Trusted, you shouldn't be blackening the kettle more, Jack. I am not the Jedi you seek. Oh, I know of a Jedi. I have friends here that Forrest was great friends with. They told me some wild stories about Forrest. No Jedi sought. I've actually never been to Stonehenge. It's a nice place. I haven't been there, but I hear that it's a calming. Oh, I can't remember the word they use. Transcendental place, something like that. So probably worth. But there's not only one Stonehenge, and there's supposed to be a Stonehenge under the water, isn't there? So maybe when the flood came, the people that built our Stonehenge, that built that Stonehenge, had to abandon it and built another one. Forrest and I were the only ones who saw the treasure at 2017 February. Well, everybody saw it. They just had no clue what it was. See that? So you say all these. I'm going to call them crazy things that it can't possibly be, and then you say something like that, and that absolutely could be possible. Absolutely could be possible that Forrest and you saw something there that people just didn't know what it was, because that's what I was like when I found out what it was. I was like, I don't know what this is. What the heck is this? I think Forrest knew many would not be able to handle the truth. Only those who seek it will embrace it. Everyone else will reject it. And that's how it seems. FF enjoyed an amateur who had spirit. Davy B, how is the chessboard coming along? Blue stones, it's all about the midday blue apples and those who covet them. La 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 la. New Stonehenge discovery, the altar stone came from Scotland, yes. And Scotland is also where Excalibur is supposed to be. So, the Avalon. Problem is in the Middle Ages, because of which they call the Dark Ages, because we lost all the info. A lot was hidden. But, we lost a lot of info from a lot of ages, to be fair. We just don't know it. Forrest played with words and messed with your heads. Yes, he did play with words, and yes, he did mess with our heads. I did not know that. My ancestor was Scotia. She brought the stone of destiny. La, la, la. Ah, so what the Templars did, they put a stone in their swords. because the tail you chased. Oh, and he's used a different tail. That is the same tail that Forrest used when he should have used a different tail. Forrest liked to put humour in his books. That is the one thing most searchers have. Zero of a sense of humour, wit and parody. I have some of that. Well, I've got the and. I don't know about the wit and the parody bit. Neat that there are many that can't speak due to NDAs and one who won't because he's an actual hardcore holdout. Are you the hardcore holdout? Or are you talking about someone else? If you find something, keep seeking because you probably didn't find it yet. Third was a good warden until Nellie shot him dead. Did she come from Scotland? Oh no, that's Nessie. I think Nellie was the highway woman, wasn't she? If you are a noble savage, you would understand me. Oh, somebody posted something that had a man and a woman walking down the road, and the man nearest to the wall and the woman nearest to the road, and said something like, "Only a true gentleman would understand this picture." So I had to write, whilst you may be correct in what you're saying, in today's environment, it may be that the lady walking on the outside, nearest to the road, the curb, where she could get sprayed with water or fall or get run over or whatever, may be offended by the fact that you ask her to walk on the inside, because unfortunately, the lady you're talking about in today's age has turned into a man. They don't want you to look after them. They don't want you to open the door for them. They don't want you to do these things because they are independent and they don't need a man to do anything for them. Not most ladies, but ladies now. So it's difficult to know whether you should be a gent or not. So the age of chivalry is not dead. The age of chivalry is not dead. We're just losing too many ladies wanting to be too many blokes. There are always people in the way of true love, Sophia. It takes courage. If you're not the language you speak, then why do you look up the language? Annabelle's hat was shot, just like Mildew, his plane and his car. What does shot mean? A noble non-savage. So you've been chasing since 2010, Candy. The chase went from birth to death. Yes, I said that in one of my videos. Begin at where warm waters halt is the water's breaking. And take it in the canyon down is the actual birth. And then you get to the point where, do not Fenn's chest. The Blue Stone's been saying this for years. A speaker and string bender to 11 is Zos. Zos? A speaker and string bender. So not bending rules, but bending string. I'm just the gardener. It doesn't work. Stop cheating. You haven't got an I, and you shouldn't have a Y. TTOTC was to profit a cancer thing, the community assisted searches. Wouldn't it be ironic if the solver passed of cancer and no one gave one crap? Ironic and epic. Forrest picked the time and place and yes, that's what he said he would do. Write a book titled 90, like his friend Eric Sloan, who wrote 80. Choose his own way of going. And he did that. Is that a coincidence? Or is it a story that was written in the poem? Music, not so smart after all. He is doing just fine. And I'm glad to hear that. It's not a question of savagery. It is more the proper understanding of mobility that one is not born into. You're getting too deep now. Woo! There are no solvers, only pending adepts. Well, I did say that they were just proposal documents of what could possibly be. What is a solve if following a direction you've been told? Yeah, you see, that's the issue, isn't it? There is no smart person who achieved the impossible. There is merely a willing pupil who listened to, I don't want to say master because people's teacher, mentor. Let me be frank, shy guy, probably. And that is why there will not be 9 clues and location given in the answer, because it was for the find solver to provide. Too late. Well, I thought I told you whatever the finder or solver would have got is that there was only ever going to be one spot. You're only searching for one spot, not 9. One spot. You're not listening. Saying the same things over and over again. Why didn't I think of that? I'm only looking for one spot. He told you the spot. He told you it. If I told you the home of Brown, you go right straight to it. The one spot. Go to the one spot. If I told you that spot, you go right straight to it, because there was only ever going to be one spot. Man, you are paid or arrogant or don't know, whatever word it is. I don't know what word it is. It doesn't get any simpler than that. It really doesn't. The answer is right in front of you. Been in front of you for however many years, nearly 15 years. Don't get it. Don't get. All right, man. Show us the other ciphers with generated clues. Your rules. I told you the rules. You wanted a starting place. I told you the starting place. 9 is the starting place. Follow the 9 clues is your starting place. And that tells you everything you need to know. And you listen to Forrest Fenn, he tells you the rest. You have the starting point. You have the clue. You have the cipher. You have the story. You have everything. You have the words. And remember, please, the chest. To find the chest, you look at the poem in the book, The Thrill of the Chase, and you read it with a little imagination and a bit of knowledge with some deep thinking. That's it. That's it. That's your solve. One spot, read the poem. That's your solve. You keep saying you haven't been told to solve. Yes, you have. You don't want to use it because you want your cipher to be correct, or you want the car to be correct, or you want thought to be correct, or you want this private property to be correct, or you want whatever it is that you want to be correct. And it's not, because there's only one location. There was only ever going to be one location. And why the hell didn't you think of that when Forrest said there was only ever going to be one location? The poem is about one location. That's it. That's the end of it. If I told you the home of Brown, you go right straight to it. One location. You can't go right straight to it if Forrest tells you the home of Brown, if there's 8 other locations. Guess what? It's impossible. It's impossible for there to be another 8 locations and you can still go right straight to it. I don't see how difficult that is. I cannot see or believe that you're real searchers if you can't understand that piece of English. I don't care that you're American. It's not that different. Being told there was only ever going to be one spot means there's only ever going to be one spot. It means all the information that I've given you is about the one spot that I've told you to go right straight to. That spot that I told you to go to, that's the spot. That's the one location that was only ever going to be. And that's why it was not moved, because there was only one spot. Now, I don't see how difficult that is. And we're talking about the chest now, not the solve. We're talking about here's how to find a chest. Read the poem in the book Full of the Chase. Bearing in mind that Forrest said, I looked up all the words in that poem, especially the nouns. You don't need all the words, but it's risky to ignore any. You bear that in mind and read that poem. That's it. So you have one spot. You just got to read the poem with a little imagination. That's your solve. Done. Finished. You people that do all this other stuff, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea why you do all this other stuff. I have no idea why you go one, another location, another location, another location, another location. If you're going more than a mile, if you're walking more than a mile, you're walking too far. Oh, well, mine is 10 miles from Warm Waters Halt to the Blaze. Warm Waters Halt you made up, the Blaze you made up, and you say there's a chest there. No. No. It's impossible. This is a simple solve. A simple solve. Simple. Do you understand what simple means? Obviously not. I don't get it. I don't get it. It makes me laugh. I try and come across as though, but it makes me laugh. I think, what? Hey, Tigger, I've been on other... Oh, is there other people on? Sorry. I don't want to be treading other people's toes. The non-breathing don't know either the reason why they tell. Don't know. Excuse me. I didn't know others were on. No, neither did I. Who was on? Who have I missed? If I told you where the home of Brown was, you would go right to the home of Brown. Oh dear Lord, there was a search box to communicate. No. No. That's not what he's saying at all. And that's why you haven't found anything. You can't just use that piece of information. So how does that collate with the little girl from India couldn't get closer than the first two clues? Because you're not using that information. You're not using the information. If you have the home of Brown, why are you worried about Warm Waters Halt? How does that collate with what you just said, Trusted? You're talking crap, as usual. Stop trying to change what is a purely simple statement, especially when you factor in, if you know the home of Brown, why are you worried about the Blaze? He's not saying just go to the home of Brown because that's where it is. He's saying that's where it is because it's better than Blaze and it's better than Warm Waters Halt. And the little girl from India can't get closer than the first two clues because she's already there. And if you solve the first two clues, it's academic. There are no more clues. It's academic. It's simple, but you're not listening. And it doesn't matter. Time will tell. But don't try and be clever with me because, I'm sorry, it won't wash. Forrest treasured the memories that Carl brought to chase. If I told you where you lived, you could go. So you're trying to do the same thing. No, because you're not using the other stuff. Solve the first two clues. It's academic. Solve the first two clues. 50% there, metaphorically speaking. Either thick or just arrogant. I don't know which. Or paid, or all of the other stuff. No, you're using one statement and basing everything on it. You're not adding the other stuff that he said to that one statement to prove that one statement is about going to the spot, the one spot. Because it doesn't suit your solve, you want to change it. But it's the one spot which you should have thought of that he told you about. The poem talks about one spot. And if he told you that spot, you go right to that spot, bearing in mind it's better than Warm Waters Halt and it's better than the Blaze. And if it was my house and I went straight to it, that's where the chest was. I don't need to go to your house. I don't need to go to Trusted's house because it's at my house. And all of those other locations don't matter because I don't need to know about the Blaze and I don't need to know about Warm Waters Halt. But I do need to know what the home of Brown is. I do need to know why where Warm Waters Halt is important and does need to be nailed down. And I do need to know what the Blaze is. But as long as I have the home of Brown, I don't have to worry about those things. You see how it works? No, you don't. Because you make stupid statements like, well, if I told you where your house was, you go right straight to it. Because you're not listening. you are using your own bias to add 9 different locations to your solve, because that's the solve you have. Because, again, stupid, trolling, arrogant, whatever word it is that makes you biased enough to think that you need 9 clues and 9 locations. From there, it's no place for the meek. You don't go from there, you stay there at the home of Brown, because that is where it was, yes, put in. It was put in below the home of Brown. That's where it's put in. That's why if you go right to the home of Brown, that's where it is, because that's where it's put in, because it tells you in the poem, it was put in below the home of Brown. It does not say a put in below the home of Brown, not a place below the home of Brown, because in English, in normal American, if there was a put in involved, it would have to be the put in, a put in below the home of Brown. It was just put in below the home of Brown. And if I told you the home of Brown, you go right to it, where it was put in. You see, that's how simple it is. That's how simple it is. And if you'd have thought of that, maybe you'd have got something. So you can say all of those sarcastic comments that you want because you want 9 locations, but it just makes you look, yes, stupid or arrogant or paid or a troll. It doesn't make you smart. You're not smart to say those things. You or any of those others. Because the information has been given to you that it was put in below the home of Brown. It's not a put in below the home of Brown. It's not a place. It's not a place. It's not a location. It's not a location. It was something that was done. It was an action. The noun, a put in, or an action. If you looked up all the words in the poem, if you did what Forrest said, if you did what he did, guess what? Just a little guess. Guess what? If you looked up all the words, you'd have realized that. Guess what? If you listen to Forrest, you would know put in is not a put in. It's just put in. You would know that. And you choose to decide that it's a canoe place or a car park or whatever, because that's what you want it to be. But if that was the case, it would say the put in below the home of Brown. A put in below the home of Brown. Why would Forrest leave out the as part of a noun? The put in as part of a noun. Why would he leave that out and just put in? Why didn't he use the word put in below the home of Brown? Because it's not. That's not what it is. So you can try and be sarky all you want and try to make out that you know what this is about. But guess what? You don't. You have no idea because you haven't listened. Not to Forrest and not to me. So get off your high horse. Stop with the bullshit. If you're paid, I don't care. If you're a troll, I don't care. If you're an arrogant son of a bitch, I don't care. This is not for you. This is for Forrest Fenn and anyone else who's truly just trying to search the poem and solve it and not trying to find the chest that you want to be the person that did. This is not about that. But go ahead. Do what you want to do. Pre-release is the hammer. Below the Homer Brown is a location. Yes, I know what the S is. Monotheism, God and devil are one. A map is important because it gives direction, distance, and laws. You don't need to break anything. FF, there you go. Especially private property, trusted. Bernardo, had good maps. The poem is the map. It's not difficult. The poem is the map. My real name page, most recent music video clips. Yeah, well done. Cool, Mr. Five. And the devil. Excuse me, it's not Satan. The only to create a map is history past to be present. Homer Brown has the best. Yes, and it's safe. It's safe too. Tea time, breathe, Mario. Breath, Mario, or breathe, Mario. No, I'm only joking. I aren't really that angry. It pleases me to be like that. Oh, I was arrogant, but now I'm a smiling winner. I don't think you're a winner. Well, for that you are, but not for not for Forrest. Jockey's Humanity. Well, hello there. Read the poem, yes. Yeah, if you don't read the poem, you're stuffed. Read me the poem. 100%. You know. Forrest wrote a story in there. It's as simple as that. And that story is epic, and that's why there'll be an epic ending. And Forrest made that story happen in the way that it's supposed to be. And that's why it'll be an epic ending. Jack's the story. The prose that I told you about, Street. That prose that I told you about, that was Jack. Not my whole. That was everything that the chase was about. The history of the chase is in that poem, and Forrest wrote it in that poem. And it's happened just the way that that poem says it would happen, including Ben and his broken monitor, including me writing the poem first. That's how Forrest wrote it to be. No, me doing the video first. That's how Forrest wrote it to be. Reading the poem says that I have to do the video before Ben. Well, basically says that Ben is waiting for me to do it. Not because we have a conversation and I tell Ben that he has to wait, but because Forrest, the way that it's supposed to happen is that I do it first. So I don't know if Ben truly did have a broken monitor and Forrest knew that he was going to have a broken monitor before 2010 and wrote it in the poem, or Ben is being paid, like some others being paid, to make this happen the way that it's supposed to be. So because Forrest said, Mary, you need to do your video, I did the video before Ben did his, because the poem says do so. And that's why Forrest has to wonder if he can make it happen, because at any point, it doesn't have to be me that's the solver, but at any point, if Forrest is going to make it happen, whoever's supposed to be doing the things that they're supposed to do has to be reading the poem to make it happen. And then when this finishes, Forrest can say, you see, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, like a little tick box. This is what I predicted, this is what happened, this is what I predicted, this is what happened, this is what I predicted, this is what happened, this is what I predicted, this is what happened, this is my story about Jack, 9 Mile Hole, crossing the Madison, going behind the oil tree, to unravel the string, blah, blah, blah. That's his story that he wrote. And you're all watching it unfold. You're watching the story that Forrest Fenn wrote in the poem unfold, and you have no idea. None. And it'd probably make a film from start to finish. Forrest could have wrote a blockbuster, an epic in that poem. So there is a book in a poem in the book. That's amazing. And not only that, there's all the other stuff that's in there, that nobody believes, but it's there. You're all in there, all of you, which is why it's difficult to know or who to believe or what to believe about the people that are in the chase. No king will ever God to kill to Hawk. Nice choice, though. Don't know what that Tig King James version is watermark in Once Upon a While. Geoduck, cheers. Not sure who cheers is to. How's the house? But not the map he talked about. You need the poem and a good map. The poem is the map. I kid you not. But you have to know why it has to go. The poem is as good as Google Earth. You could take that poem. These are not the measurements, but let's just use it for and showed to treat it when I was on his. For the sake of argument, let's say each square in the poem on Google Earth is 100 feet. Each square in the poem on Google Earth, because Google Earth is good research material or whatever it is. So each square in the poem is 100 feet. You halve that, it's 50 feet. You halve that again, it's 25 feet. And you halve that again, nearly 12 feet. Then you halve that again, and it's 6 feet. So you could get as close to the chest as you want to get if you know the square that you're supposed to be looking at. And that's how it works. And you know where you are because the information is in the poem to help you know where you are. And it's a good map because basically you could be anywhere you want if you know where you are. I don't know. The poem is on page 132. The map is on page 133 and stems over to 132. I like building trusted. People in language are lost because one rule of greed, nothing of the meaning of love all. Pony was the only important person in the gallery. Specialized knowledge to me, that is. I'm not getting anywhere near you guys if you have boards and nails. Pony is Ford Mustang and still do. Oh, why about the alligators that Forrest had? What about them? And still do deal. That what is wrong with America? And still do deal. Oh, still do deal. That is what's wrong with America. What is the 331st day of the year? What is the 331st day of the year? Why are you asking that? 331. Ooh, yeah, ooh. The treasure is and was for all. The greedy who want it all for themselves have no accurate soul. Wow, that's a good way of putting it, Sophia. Yeah. Hey, Tigger, I like building also. Yeah, and definitely not about a chest. Hey, Tigger, I like building also. It's being attached to the building is what the issue is. Pony is a small Ford horse. The world is made of 3 Americas, all being American of one rule of castle. You are right, Sophia. Yes, I think everybody agrees with Sophia. Mustang is a Ford Model M. Oh, mama. They're my initials. Oh, preceded by Forrest's initials. How does that work? Forrest, Mario, Marciano. Wow, what's he trying to say to you? Looks very similar in the poem when you look at the bottom. F, M, M, F, 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 M, 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 M. Try saying Mario without saying Well, I'm building a chicken house. Whee! It is also a nickname for the Mustang. Mustang Sally. You better slow that Mustang down. Find a solve that only requires a poem and a good map, and that is there for every person to enjoy. The fun and learn the epic journey. And it will be epic. It has been epic. Has been epic. You know, even the word poem is epic. And poems used to be a book. They used to be, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of words long. And there's a second poem in the. Oh, somebody tried to call us out. Treasure poem. That we have to show the second poem. I've already done that. I've already told you what it is. Or could be. But it could be many poems. There's the Babbling Brook poem. There's the poem within the poem that is the original poem that you see. There's the Ode to Peggy that's in the poem. So, and there's a poem itself. And then there's a story, which potentially, or the prose, potentially could be an epic poem around a character called Jack, who found a chest, a 9-mile hole, which is not untrue. That is the story that Forrest Fenn has told in the poem. So it's not untrue. And Jack, whilst being abstract or fake or made, which is what everyone's saying, which is right if he's in the poem and he's a character that's wrote in the poem in the form of a play, movie, book. Forrest said you need a program to know what's going on. Well, you're not reading the program, and you're not getting with the program because you don't understand it. You're just looking for a chest. You're not understanding the story that this is in the Thrill of Chase poem. You're not understanding the thrill of chase that is taking place within the poem and in the real world, but nothing is as it seems. No, it's not, but it is in the poem. It's exactly how it seems in the poem. So you're being told the information and you're choosing to ignore it, believing that it's a chest that you want to have found. He's not talking about that chest. He's talking about the thrill of the chase in his poem and the chest that Jack found in his poem. And some of the information is relevant to the outside world and some of the information isn't. But guess what? What did Forrest say? No one? You sure? Didn't he say it's important to know what is worth knowing, what is not worth knowing? So, and that's where we are. Hey, Mr. Jason Northface, how you doing? Yes, Geo, I have it on I'm missing all this stuff. The bird flu is coming, and it's not really contagious, but they have lots of vaccines. Well, I thought Brandon Biggs said there was a plague coming that, is aimed specifically at certain people. And once you get it, there's no cure. I think I know the future on one level. Diligent and assertive, free, antiquated beliefs in God. And W had a thing on starfish thrower to go. It represented man harvesting anything and everything to sell for profit. One did not carry a bucket and kept throwing the starfish back into the water. Pandemic equals election. Well, I wish you all the best for that because that woman's crazy. I thought Joe Biden was bad, but only in the sense that he was, not able to do the job. Never in a million years. And that was, 3 years ago. But this lady and Mr. Walls and Kamala Harris, no. And, I can understand, why the world's going to pot, because we're back to racism, sexism, all of those things, but just in reverse. And we're supposed to be made feel guilty that we aren't pandering to these people. Get a real life. I am not against anyone. I don't ever want to be against anyone. But I certainly don't want to be lorded over by other people either. And I certainly don't want to be told that I should do to, people I love, my family or anything, things that, any normal person wouldn't. And I certainly don't want to be feeling like I'm not normal. I know I'm normal. I know that, a man and a woman are supposed to make babies. That's it. Anything else is considered weird. And you can normalize it as much as you want, but that's the weird thing. 2 male dogs having sex is weird. 2 male people having sex is weird. I don't care how you say it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's weird. It's not going to create any babies. It's not going to create any babies. And that's the whole point of it, isn't it? Surely that's the whole point of it. We're only animals. So I don't mind them doing it. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I don't care. But I do care when I'm being told that I'm the weird one for thinking that what's happening is not weird. I mind that. So don't tell me that I'm weird because I think that other people are weird. And that's the way the world's getting. They want to make us look like the weird ones so they can do what they want to do and be okay to do what they want to do. You're okay to do what you want to do. You don't have to make me weird for you to do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. Do it. I don't care. Don't try and make me weird. I know It's not us that are weird. The majority. It's not. And I don't care how many times they want to say it or what they want to do or try and hurt their feelings. My rights don't stop where their feelings start. It don't. My rights continue. And if it upsets people, it upsets people. But maybe you need to grow a thicker skin. Nobody's trying to stop all these people that say that, oh, you're infringing our rights and you're doing this and doing that. No, we're not. You do what you want. But you know better than me. You know worse than me and you know better than me. And I'm not weird. And I don't need to give you my pronoun. You know, if you want to do pronouns, do pronouns. But don't change my world because you want to feel better in it. That's not up to you to do that. Anyway, I'm also a gut with a shitload of rope. I'm also a gut with, don't know what, a guy. Can you find a chest with that shitload of rope? Geo, I was a campfire girl to a high degree. Lulybell barbed wire displays are popular here. Hey, Jeff. Then he popped in. Sorry, I'm too busy talking, not noticing that all these people are here. Thank you, all those people in chat that I haven't spoke to. Bloody hell, there's 37 people in 9 likes. What's going on? Sorry if you're here and I haven't said hello. Some issues come into my head and I just start talking. The only new Dylan, sometimes I have no idea what you're saying. I really don't. It's just not my sort of English. And if it's part of the poem, I can't just work it like that. Scouts saved my life many times over. Oh, I thought that was part of my souls, John Wayne and all that, part of the Scouts. I always forget that blooming name. Philmont. The Scouts at Philmont, where the teeth are. That place. Another soul. What are you guys going to do when you're sitting around 40 years from now still arguing, fighting about? I don't think anybody was arguing and fighting. But we'll be talking about JCBs. We'll be talking about that. Or, I don't know what will be next. If it's a JCB is a tractor, what else is a tractor? Well, I don't know, but a different name. Which, also means something that could potentially be addressed to the chase. So like a John Collins, that's a drink, isn't it? And black, that is something else, isn't it? So potentially that could be a name that's hidden that has, reference to something. See, Mara is a little psychic. Jack is a Jill. How did Mara know the dogs were having sex? That's the way it goes. It's the secret of Jack and Jill. Homer Brown, if you seek silence, of Ruler Monk. Yes, hi, everyone. Oh, hi as in hi, up in there. Woody, how are you? I was never devoted enough to be Eagle Scout. I just love being in the wilderness and mountains. Yeah, who doesn't? I don't do well at all. We don't have wilderness and mountains like you do, but yeah. Hey, Jason again. Mario, the chase is like the turning of the seasons. Some topics are harsh and some are pleasant. Making our way through all 12 steps, we find ourselves right back where we started. Yes, and you too. Take care. Mario, moving like cattle in learning will never happen. I leash the words for ears. I've got to start. I've got to rewind my imagination. I would have made an Eagle Scout if my Scoutmaster did not assault me. Uh-oh. You're hitting back then, but I'll take it. I would be an Eagle Scout if they didn't screw up the paperwork. I'm sorry, lads, but this is starting to sound like I could have been a contender. It's starting to sound like that boxing thing. I'm sorry. That's just the way it's sounding. Except the things you cannot change. Different meeting. LOL. Chili cook-off was date of OK Corral gunfight. OK Corral. So both who still they lay side by side, the killers that died. Forrest said there was only ever one spot he was hoping to put it. So if you have the correct solve, then it makes sense that everyone would have the same spot. Yet that is not the case. Yeah, that becomes the impossible and not difficult. If your solve doesn't take you all to the same place, it can't be the correct solve. It can't be. There's only going to be one spot. So how have you got 50 different solvers or 100 different solvers or 350,000 different solvers? That's it. Tom Collins is a drink, not John Collins. Sorry. Don't know why I said John. Tom Collins is a drink. So you get that drink, find out what that could mean, and then you get the word black and find out what that could mean. And then you may have the reason why it's Tom Collins Black. Is it Tom Collins? Yeah, Tom Collins Black. John Collins Black, which is also associated with John Collins if you look up the Tom Collins. Jason, as the world turns. Oh, that reminds me of Elvis. On a cold and grey Chicago morning, a poor little baby child was born in the ghetto, and his mama cries. I'm an illegal scout. Oh, don't talk about illegals. You've got 20 million of them raping and doing all sorts of stuff to, US citizens. No religion, spiritual, yes, has all not figured out all war is religion. I thought you were a communist. Uh-oh, who's he talking to? Not me, I'm not a communist. Right, Lou, hey Rob, hope all is good, buddy. Jace is more like as the... It's heartening to see people living life denying reality. That's why we get along. That's why we get along, crazy. Because... Hey, sicker than a dog this morning. Oh, yeah? Oh, I hope you get better soon, Rob. Or is that just because you've been drinking? Five Leaf, are you fishing without a license? Tigger, nice to see you. Nice. I am tired again and have more med testing tomorrow. Good luck with that. So far, news gets worse. I hope to see you again. We hope to see you again. Weather changed a lot. Yeah, we're supposed to be in the middle of summer, and it's been. I've even put the heating on today. It's crazy, 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 crazy. I cry when I hear that song. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I cry when I sing "Don't Cry, Daddy." It is all on video. Five Leaf. Davey knows. Davy Crockett. Mario, please read my comment below. Thanks. The ancient custom of depositing a box was duly observed, consisting of coins, gold, nuggets, literature, poems, and other articles of historic value. Too many to mention. Sounds similar, very similar. Very, 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 very similar. I'd prefer if it was BCB, but that'll do. Are you all saying government is more important of death than the one of commandments? Oh, I don't know what that means. Don't know. Woody Bog, that would be illegal, Scout, of course. There is always one free fishing day where no license is needed. The retrieval spot 1 year requires spectators to also have a valid license. Scrapbook? Is that scrapbook? Scrapbook, I don't know. I'm spiritual, nothing more. I go walking after midnight. Oh, in the rain with pina colada. Or is that dancing in the midnight? If you like dancing in the moonlight and getting caught in the rain. JCB, Jesus, and the Chase Saviors. Spiritual had to do with a blaze. Mary, do you know the commandments? Yes, I do. Thou shalt not, Camille, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet thy neighbour, blah, 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 blah. Those ones. Or are you talking about the other 900 or 2,000 or whatever the others are? No, I don't know all them. I didn't know there were that many. Yeah, nice. Bill, Cynthia showed off her by the fire hall. I think they were showing the overpass. One can remove and the other loves. Love thy neighbor. At the Queen's lawn. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why is Tigger saying at the Queen's laundry? Uh-oh. Lunchbox, that idea. Lunchbox, that is. Cynthia has the Penny Marshall vibe, and I find it oddly hot. Don't tell her. No, we won't tell Cynthia you said that. And I won't worry about her watching this. Yes, so we were told. Earthquakes between Japan and California. Yes, I've said to Indy, get out of there, but she's not listening to that. She still wants to stay where she is. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it is. I don't. I think, like, these precursors, and I'm not an expert, but, if history tells you one thing, there's no smoke without fire. They are they are on the same tectonic plate. That's the problem. So this is the ring of fire we're talking about, isn't it? And at some point, it's like a kettle. Once you put it on, it's always going to get to that point where it boils, and then it boils over. Or hot water. Let's not say kettle. So if you put milk, say, in a saucepan, if you leave it on there, it's going to boil and boil and boil until it goes over, and that's it. That's the consequence of it. And that's pretty much like the Earth. There are certain places on Earth that periodically will boil over. Mount Vesuvius is one of them, and Pompeii. Not a good place to be. My bear spray is only copper and lead. It's weird to say, like, call it bear spray, because it's not for the bear, is it? Why would I? Last comment, I agree to say Wyoming. I wish Shiloh and Sol will work together, and I strongly believe the story is written in a poem, in a book, by all. Thanks, Sophia. Yeah, I just want to go over that as well. Thanks, Sophia. I want to go over that again. The statement that Shiloh and the Soul will find are working together is based purely on the same aims that they have. There is no collusion between the solver, as far as I know, because I'm not, the solver. I'm not saying that I'm the solver. I'm not saying David B's the solver or the finder, but no different that Shiloh and the solver working together, as is, Ben waiting on me doing a video, or agreeing to say it's in Wyoming. There doesn't need to be any interaction between two parties for those things to happen. They are with the same aim, but not necessarily talk to each other to achieve that aim. So if one of them is doing it from one point of view for Forrest, and the other is doing it from another point of view for Forrest, then yeah. Why must I be? I've done that. Why? Well, me and David B have done that. The why. Why? I saw a sparrow, blah, blah, today, whatever the thing is. Shiloh and the Soul are following the same piece of music. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So, so being on the same page, well, to the same letter, probably, on that page, but not because, talking to each other, just because that's what they're doing. I live around grizzlies, never needed bear spray. Got a crooked mouth, boy. Cynthia has a crooked mouth. A purdy mouth. Yeah, you got a pretty mouth, boy. That was Deliverance. Cynthia is proud of that picture. Hey, she looks good in that picture. You can't fault her. What state has a capital to be said in a capital letter? What state has a capital to be said in a capital letter? Brandon Biggs has seen Seattle to LA going into the sea. From LA to Seattle, from Seattle to LA. Like I say, you know, he's not the only one that's seen that sort of stuff. When you put them all together, either one person is copying everyone else, or these things are happening or going to happen because too many people have seen it. So, and we're not safe. Say the United Kingdom's going to get screwed as well. So, I see bears up close every day. It seems mostly from only a few feet. Wow, Lily. She's probably looking in the mirror and saying, "Remember when? When you smiled at me." Forrest shut down Montana, Wyoming, and northern Colorado. He also said it was not within 50 miles of the $1 million highway, which eliminated west of the Continental Divide. There, that was another interesting place. Isa Lake. That was warm water. That was at the Divide. And some purdy flowers. See, you say these things, and then you say, no, I think it's here. But that's pretty important. But he did only shut down Montana, Wyoming, and northern Colorado because of the weather. And he talked about the young lady that was out there. This, trying to be safe, he was saying. This is the fact of lost circles are not profound. Treasure Warriors, one question. There is space in more personal communication with Chase members. How much space in character length? Cheers, INFJ. Thanks for that. I didn't even know you were still here, but thank you. Why does everybody talk to Treasure Warriors when he went watching baseball? I think he left out a word and that Chase members should be isolated on a separate line. What do you think? A Sunday kind of love. Well, you'd have to go into Discord to know what you were saying. A Sunday kind of love is all long, but Monday is the most. It's all week long. I can't see because the heart's in the way. Had a vivid dream of a secret meeting with Trump in an elevator because some jerk would not let us use the skiff. Skiff? What the heck is a skiff? Listen, if you're gonna get super daddy tits, go above 38 double D. Alright, I hear turkeys. Gobble, 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 gobble. A boat. Don't know what the conversation is now. I hear turkeys. They're probably scared by the bears. Okie sound different like F language sometimes takes caption. A skiff. French boat. Yeah, but what's that got to do with... What's that got to do with an elevator? Like, they wouldn't let them use a skiff, a French boat. So that's take the elevator. I don't know what that means. Skiff is a soundproof meeting room for government intelligent meetings. There you go. There you go. Like, even that, the Trump assassination attempt, that's in the poem. His earshot. So you can follow Trump from the left-hand side where the proof is and the truth is, and the footprint, which is, where is it? The end is ever drawing nigh. Yeah. Put in below the hem of brown. It has to be there. Put in below the hem of brown. Trump is there. And going across this way. So you can read about that if you wish. Last time I just closed the door and let them all walk by undisturbed. They can be mean. Hear me all. To hear some is captions. SCIF. Skiff. Ah, that's why. He's He spelt it as the boat, but you're saying it's short for something. How far is the $1 Million Highway from Pagosa Springs as the crow flies? How far is the... That was another solve that I had. It was the 50 miles statement that Forrest made that, did the $1 Million Highway, wasn't it? 50 miles. And then something about the into a thing on a tree, put the bullet holes in the tree. I can't even remember it all. Trump security is a Trump supporter. Yes. John Boat. Oh, it's all French. Yes, if Forrest spoke French, then what the heck? Super compartmentalized. That was that word that I can't ever say when I talk about, if people are working for Forrest in the Chase and it's all compartmentalized, that, they only know what bit they know, and then the other people don't know that they know. The $1 Million Highway is up by Silverton. The reason it's called is because of gold on the road base. Isn't that the one where you drive along and the sun, whatever is... I know Silverton well, in the sense, that we've seen it while doing the chase. Mayday is another part of the chase. And Maybell, whatever that is, and Uri, Durango, and then going up that way up towards, don't forget Telluride, and, go up towards Denver and that, and those other places. Is Arsenal in Denver? I don't remember now. Arsenal that's my team name anyway, Arsenal. And that was another solve. Even the Red Barn was a solve. And the Wolverine, what's his name? That was it to do with Wolverine? What's his name? The Red Barn. Everywhere I am. Everywhere. I know more about the USA and them states than I know about my own country. Silver is dead. Silver is dead. The Model A was 57 miles from the $1 Million Highway. Dip your toe in it. There's no warm water under that bridge. She's trying to back engineer it. I drove the $1 Million Highway last October. It was stunning. It should be if it's called the $1 Million Highway. See, there's a lot of places in America that I would like to see, but I would fear that going to America, only being able to do a couple of them is going to be not good. Like when you talk about those places like Mount Rushmore, well, obviously, firstly Yellowstone, but a Mount Rushmore isn't too far from there, or Deadwood. Obviously, the Space Center, the Statue of Liberty. Then you've got those, movie places that you wouldn't mind seeing. Obviously, Santa Fe. The moon things. Is it Utah? The one that looks like the moon. I'd like to see that. I think it's Utah. Obviously, I'd like to see the Oregon Trail and the Santa Fe Trail and those sort of places. I want to see the what's it called? The Maxwell, from up the top down to the bottom. Going for Oklahoma. I say Oklahoma because my sister's there, but the tornado thing as well. Tornado Alley. Let's see what that's all about. I know it's not going to show nothing, but just to know that, look that way and look this way, and that's where it goes from. Just interesting. Liberty Bell, like to see that. That's just too many things that I'd like to see, to be fair. Mario and Davey are going on a road trip together. Are we? Oh. What, here? Australia or America? The US of A. David B, I heard about that. David, what's that? Woody Bog. That is the same in the town of Kalgoorlie. The main road was mistakenly laid with tailings. There you go. The favourite fishing hole. Davy, cow, one or lie. The New English use two letters in one BB. Are you giving us a precursor to JCB's hunt? Wahoo! Excited is an understatement. Woohoo! Oh, let me do it more then. Woohoo! Excited is an understatement. Self-promotion. I only got a passport. Should I go and get a passport if I'm going to go on a road trip? Self-promotion. I've got to get a passport because I've got to go to Benidorm to take Yvonne's ashes. Self-promotion. I have multiple Silver Age comic books for sale on eBay under the same name, but no number one. Thanks for checking them out. RV in America? Coolie coo. Davey, we're going on a road trip in America. I'm not driving. If you're looking for gold, go to the La Plata Canyon or Rico. If your looks for anything, go where no tie has been. Oh, I understand that, even though it doesn't make any sense. If you travel to America, come early spring or fall when the kiddies are in school. Lovely time to go to Yellowstone. Well, if we're going on a road trip, I don't think we have much say when we're going. See, and then that begs a question like, who do we get to see? Who do we get to see? Les Peeps. Talking of Peeps, where's Kiwi? He's always here. It's like I was saying to Davey, like if Forrest is, precise in what he's saying on the banquet table of history and everything, it's like who's going to be at that banquet table? Is it everybody that well, just talk about the places that I want to go, but then there's the people that I'd like to meet, including those people that no longer, they may be in the chase, lurking, but no longer in the public domain. Woohoo! We get to see Geoduck. Are you driving, Geoduck? David might drive. He looks like he's a driver. I'm a driver, but I don't fancy driving over in America on the wrong side of the road. Not after that bloke that was all over the road. And that'll do then if we get to see Geoduck. But you know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people that, I've definitely interacted. I mean, David probably interacted with more than me because he was in it longer than I was. But there are many people that I would have liked to, or would like to meet. I can't even afford a passport. It's like $400. $400. Wow. I placed a 20,000 word autobiography in the chest. Filled it with gold coins, nuggets, ancient Chinese human faces, the different objects in the couch are too numerous to mention. One by one. FF. Yeah, yeah, I don't want to elaborate on that. But it's important to know that if you knew what, like 20,000 words in, how many words do you think are in the poem? There's 166, 167. No, there's more than that. There's more than that just in that poem. And if Forrest was to, or he may have done, was to write them out, all the information that's in that poem, we're talking thousands and thousands of words, all the information that's in that poem, I kid you not, including the pictures, and the other stuff. And if Zozo's still here, Zozo, there is the face. Have I told you or not? I can't remember if I told you. The face, the elbows, the arms, the hands, with the chest. If you haven't got a picture of you holding the chest, it didn't happen. I think Forrest put one in there. V is W. Yes. Especially in Roman language. It's not WWW. I'm said too much already. Could be two blazes. Lost gold rabbit ears pass. They're all starting it now. Not me. Not me. What? Not me that I have told. No. So there's a person in the poem with their hands on the chest, and you could say it was a picture. You know, if you work out the two elbows and the two hands and the face. Equals WMG. I was going to say Metro Goldwyn Mayer, but that's not it. Not me with the photo. No, just the face and some elbows and some hands on the chest, which is tantamount to a picture. I had one like 2 years ago-ish. I was going to apply at that point. They were $300. Oh, I don't know how much ours are. Everything will be covered, David. Oh. Including my head. Will I grow hair for it? Covered, not that covered. Okay. So we'll go all in. It's all covered. It's all in. So the reason why I'm going to have to go as well is 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm staying up too late too many times. 11 nights. What's going on? I think it's because of chat. He's even going to buy me a hat. I meant a wig. I'm only joking. Thank you for that, Geoduck. Says duck to fly. My initials are in the Masonic Lodge. Logs? What? I can't see because the heart's there. Actually, talking about hearts, give out some love. And for those who want the scent of flowers and some happiness. Happiness, the greatest gift. I confess, I thank the Lord that I possess more than my share of happiness, because happiness is the pot. In case you didn't know, what does that mean? Yep, probably higher now here in the US, but I hope it is under 150. Oh, Masonic logo, not lodge. The heart I lost is the birth of American Queen. I let mine expire in 2017. Too many mishaps with TSA. I decided no more international flights. Get a mullet wig. I might get what's his name, Dawn, or the Brotherhood of Man. That type of hair. That type of hair. He said, "Yes, Mary, you could travel on cheap. You have lots of friends that will." Oh, thank you, Lily. I appreciate that. William Marvin Fenn, WMF, +1 equals WMG, William Michael Gorman. Queens are not in port to see something lost. I'm certain these are anagrams, and I wonder what you're trying to say. Because it's not English. Queens are not in port. In port to see or lost. Places to stay and tour guides. Woo! Yeah, that would be good. Actually, that would be brilliant, not good. King me again, another round. That sounds like drafts. King me, king me. I'm descended from over 100 kings and queens. I think you have the same line as Candy. They will have an RV caravan. Ooh. Lovely jubbly. I want top bunk. Actually, it probably would be top bunk, actually, to be fair. Yeah, they haven't killed me yet. I'm still good. Thanks, Steve. I just want to see the Queen's crown. Time for me to help old mate making another 2 tables. Woohoo! You could have a nest of tables. Ow, that starts to hurt. Bill must be a herd of oaks. The plan has always been in place. Cool. King Charles is my 27th cousin. Wow, I'm probably closer than that. I'm only joking. See you later, Davey. Thanks for popping in, mate. You do realise that when you go, you're taking the wrenches with you. What's your top spot in the States you would like to visit, Mario? Top spot. Top spot. Oh, man, that's difficult. That is difficult. I mean, Yellowstone has to be, Wonderland has to be. I say it has to be, but, Mount Rushmore fascinates me with, all the conspiracy behind it as well. Yeah. The Space Center. Florida. What's the top one? What's the top one, Mario? What's the top one? Is it Yellowstone? Yeah, Yellowstone. So Yellowstone, if I had to go to America and I had to go to one place, I'm trying to work out how to get from Wyoming to other places. So if it's like a week, which is the best place to be in the middle to travel to all the others? Yeah, I think, definitely Yellowstone, because I want to see that moon place as well. That's just like, I think it's Utah, just over West Yellowstone and then across the state border to whatever. And then, I've seen Casper, but I've only seen like a little bit. I didn't see the bit that I wanted to see, which is Crimson Dawn. I can't remember what it's called now. Crimson Dawn. Who knows what it's called? Casper. It's Crimson something, I think. Because I want to see the Pond of Truth as well. So Wyoming should be the place to go, really. I want to see the Pond of Truth. Mary was told to make a list of you. Yes, I did. I made that list. Trying to remember off the top of my head what those things were. I was planning for more than a few weeks. Ooh! Oh, I've seen many, many places. So many wonderful places to see. Yes, there is. I've obviously concentrated more on Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, like some of the places. Santa Fe is obviously going to be a place to go. The Gallery, Texas, Temple Street. San Antonio. I want to go San Antonio. Well, just loads. Some purely because of the chase. The search, in the chase. So some places that interest me because of that. Oh, where was that cross? So there's a cross in the at that church. There's a cross in the ground where the water is. I think that's not too far from Tasuk. I think, off memory. I'd like to see that. Yeah, so many things. Liberty Bell, I'd like to see that. Yeah, I didn't think of anything, like Montana didn't get much because it's colder up there. So the higher up you go, obviously it's going to be colder. So, that doesn't. Actually, there's a place called Forest Road. Was it Forest Road? That was at the top, past Blackfoot Place and something or other. And that place where the dog was that waited for his master. God, there's loads. Sorry, I'm missing all this. West is the best. There you go. It's your adventure. Russia owns all orbit satellites. I recommend skipping 6 Grandfather's Mountain, Mount Rushmore. Skipping that? No, I like that. The history behind that and the conspiracy. There's supposed to be a place and something behind it. I was thinking of something then that I want to see and it's gone. Oh, it's gone out of my head. I'd like to recommend Villa Baker in the Garden City, Missouri. Is that Michigan? Buy yourself a pizza bread and enjoy the best. All rules to know all. Walking all day is my problem. My injuries won't allow it. I would go to Rushmore. It's not as in person but cool. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. And plus, it's near Deadwood, which is another interesting place. And, has some sort of relevance to, the chase, even the historical figures. And Devil's Tower is not too far from there. So, nipping from one to the other, that would be nice. I don't know if you could see one from the other, but, there is probably not. But yeah, Devil's Tower, definitely a place to go. Which also could have been a solve. The smoke at the Devil's Tower, the wisp or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to think of the list that I made, and there's loads, and I'm thinking, well, can't go through all those, but as many as possible, I suppose. Crazy Horse is cooler than Rushmore. Well, now that you said that, reminds me of Wounded Knee, and the Timber, and the Little Bighorn 7th Cavalry stuff. So that is definitely a place that is on my mind. Last history, less Sitting Bull is not the one of the pipe of art. I'm sure they're anagrams, Dillard, and I'm sure you're telling us something that, if we worked it out, would be important. The art on the interpretives at the Alamo. Oh, there's another one, the Alamo. To West Magazine. Sitting Bull is half white from a white woman. California beaches in San Diego. Well, which is the place that Kamala has ruined? San Francisco, was it? I can't remember now. Which was one that she ruined? I don't want to go there, even though I would like to go and see the Golden Gate Bridge. There's another place. I think it is the Golden Gate Bridge. Is that the same one in Charmed? And Streets of San Francisco, is that there? Ukraine army is said to come on inside Russia. Yeah, they said they took a lot of ground. It doesn't get highlighted, but she thought her son died and the same of her. Disneyland, Legoland, SeaWorld. Yeah, they're. So if I, was with grandkids and those sort of places, I wouldn't mind going to Disneyland, but it's got a bit of a bad reputation in regard to what Disney are doing now. SeaWorld would be good. Legoland. I didn't know the Busch Gardens. A nice sight to see. Take the narrow gauge train from Durango. Yes. The Aspens. That's what Forrest was talking about. So, and Silverton Yacht was a thrill of the chase place, as was Uri with that Indian native Indian store. Can't remember what it's called. And the, what are they called? Those places where they I don't know, marshaled them, governed them, the office that they did it from, whatever. Pay attention to the grain, you wheat farmers. Alaska is worth a visit. I don't know, I'll have to Alaska. Alaska if she's worth the visit. Alaska's cold, mama. Are you in Alaska? If you're in Alaska, it's worth it. If not, Alaska's cold. I've seen too many like huskies and snow to want to go go and see a crop circle. Oh, we have crop circles in England. I think some of them are real and some of them craters of the moon. That was it. That's what I said. And that Utah, and that what I was talking about, or is it Idaho? It's in that area over that side, past West Yellowstone, going that way, isn't it? Craters of the moon. That's what I want to go and see. I thought, well, going to Yellowstone, just a few 100 miles or whatever it is across. I saw a seagull swallow a whole triangular corn chip in Capitol. See the shape all the way down his neck. Wheat farmer. I have a mate in Florida I would like to see. He hates hoeing yo fly us up the coast line in the top. Ooh, that'd be nice. Yeah, I'd like to go see Florida. So, there's some good places in Florida to go. We just said, but Mario, don't smoke enough pot to figure it out. No, I don't. I don't smoke any. I don't smoke at all. Yes, Uri. I want to go to Uri, definitely. I want to see that. I want to see that place with the frog and everything outside at the back. I want to see that. Well, yeah, I've been to the Craters of the Moon. I'd like to. Idaho. So yes, Idaho. What did I say? Utah. Yeah, Idaho. Idaho. So it's off Mammoth, West Yellowstone Airport, where there's a brown beaver, and then keep going that way, innit? Keep going that way, and it's over there somewhere. I am very near. Oh, I could see Luli when going there. Gone with the Wind sums it all up. Oh, the wind will affect. Make your list, Davy. You will have a budget and all the time you need. Oh, cool. Shoshone Falls on Snake River. Want to go there? That's where you dip your toe in it, and it, Jeff. Like that foot. The Snake River comes around. The Green River. That's not far off Igo Road. So yeah, I want to go there. And there's a homestead just off Igo Road there. And then that goes down to, I could go looking for you 5 at the Dinosaur Doodah, because that's not far from Igo Road. Well, I say not far in your sense of things. For me, it's like, far, but for you people, those sort of distances don't mean much. Cottonwood Hopson. I don't know. I know Steamboat Springs and those sort of things, but I don't know Cottonwood. Haven't seen Cottonwood Hot Springs, so I don't know where that is. Oh, Estes Park. Can't forget that. If that's how you say it, I don't know if that's how you say it, but yeah. The Secret Falls, Kirk Gowdy Park. Wow, they're all coming back to me now. It's all coming back to me. Thomas Moran. Woo! Got a Thomas Moran print above my bed. Thomas Moran. Yes. That was another one in the chase. Yes, the Falls, Twin Falls. We can do a work visa if we need to. Marines are not Navy yet. Coast Guard visa. Ooh, a work visa, yes. Oh, I want to go and see Dave Woodard's court case as well. Oh, I want something to laugh at. Forrest alligator Elvis was the first gator at the Colorado Gator Farm. It's year-round feed by geothermal water. No twin lions, really. Navy being Marine. Yeah, I think, actually, it's roughly a straight line, isn't it, from all of those? Roughly, not, perfect. But if you go from Mount Rushmore, Devil's Tower, Yellowstone, West Yellowstone, Idaho, the craters of the moon, it's almost, it's not, there's not like too much up and down in, is there? That's coincidental because I didn't think of it like that, but it's pretty much just going west, isn't it? I know you're going to say that that's wrong, but it's pretty much just starting from one side and down to the other. And even, if you count Oklahoma in that, I'm not sure if there's much in Kentucky and Nashville and those places that I want to see on that coast. What's on that coast? What's on that coast, Davey? The Beaufort. Beaufort is a place that would be worth visiting. Beaufort. That's on that side. Obviously, the Statue of Liberty. Want to see? That's it. I can't think of anything else. I think I've said everything. The Marines have a special power no other branch has. They are under the president. Well, I'm not political, but I do believe that if the world, not just the USA, if the world wants to get out of the mess it's in, then Donald Trump's probably the best person out of the two that's going to make that happen, because there is a heck of a lot going to go on. You've got Israel and Hamas, you've got Russia and Ukraine, you've got China and North Korea that are obviously just waiting. Between Iran, China, North Korea, and Russia, somebody's going to have to stop it escalating. Otherwise, it will be World War III. They can do fun things without congressional approval. Who? The Marines? Ooh. Mummy Cave as well. Mammoth Cave was a great place to visit in Kentucky. Was there in 1972. Not heard of that one, Bill. You would do anything in your knowledge. Well, I think I've basically said what I want to say. I'm really grateful to Major Forrest Fenn for his can-do ability. I don't know how he does it. I have no idea how he managed to think his thoughts, how he managed to manifest those thoughts, how he kept going, through the years. And I don't know, against the family, with the family, it doesn't matter. It's still a lot, a lot of lifetime to try and help other people. It's almost selfless, because when you consider, Forrest Fenn's age, he's not going to have the benefit of all that he's done, the absolute benefit of it, like the rest of us. If we get to live to Forrest Fenn's age, and our children, children's children, and children's children, have that hope. Oh, that was another one. Yes, it ruins in North Mexico. I think if I was talking about Verde, I think I sent Forrest an email saying, "Why are you giving out some of the I don't know what it was that I said, but think it was to do with green. Can't remember. The Verde was that green. Chaco Canyon. Yes, the Kivas. I think that's when I said, I can't remember if I said Forrest or not, but something to do with it doesn't matter even if you find it south of New Mexico because of the words that are used. I think Chaco Canyon's south. I can't remember. But they have Kivas there, don't they? Woody, the Kivas. Oh no, that's Colorado. You're saying there. What am I thinking of then? There's a place where the Kivas are in New Mexico. If Chaco Canyon's not it, it's something like that. And they've got Kivas there. Then can somebody tell the president to raise the poverty level so crime rates disappear or at least dilute? Yeah, I think he's got it all in hand. I think if you go back to what he did before, as bad as it was when he came in, he made it better. So whilst he may not get to that, 1% inflation that he was at, which is perfect, it's going to be a lot better than it is now. And gas, even if it's only, $2.50, a lot better than $5 or whatever it is. I think they should video their whole adventure and make a movie of it. Ooh, yeah, Bill and Ted's. What's her name? Sex is better than knowledge. Language can communicate, not secrets of letters. New laptops and video cameras will be provided. Wow, cool. Faith in a maverick, absolutely. And you're foolish not to be. You're absolutely foolish not to. Forrest tells you that he did all these things, and he tells you that people did these things, and he thought, well, if they can do it, I can do it, and he did it. If you don't have faith in a person like that, then you're wasting your life. You have to be, because you can't accept or acknowledge that's something that can help you be a better person. It just happens. I will give. You have nothing. Yes, it's good to see you, pirate. Maverick is a fjord. A fjord. And I came from Bedford. Put it under your Bedford for 30 days. As is not Super Sport SS. Davy and Mario's great. Yeah, Davy and Mario's great adventure. We'll have to visit next summer, especially if there's a Femboree. Yeah, I'd love to go to a Femboree. Mario and Davy on tour. Woohoo! Oh, I'd have to see the White House as well, because, I'd have to see that, wouldn't I? And the needle. Is it Cleopatra? Not Cleopatra's needle, is it? What's it called? The needle. So, yeah, let's see that. How deep is the hole? John Horn. Susie Fenhaven gets a similar adventure. Woohoo! Susie! Yeah, she's another person. Like those people are the people that I saw when I first came into the show. A hole is one any other continues. How deep is a bullet hole? If travelling through Green River, they grow the best melon and cantaloupe on the best time of year. Yeah, isn't the Flaming Gorge not too far from there as well? Like further southwest, is it? Somewhere around there? From memory, just that's supposed to be a nice place, a good place. Flaming Gorge. Oh, the Tetons. That's still going that way, though, isn't it? Tetons is still going from west to west. So. But the other stuff drops down south, doesn't it? Like the Green River and the Hoback. So Hoback. Wilson. Don't forget Wilson. Wilson Hayback. Dan, was it Dan? Daniel? Daniel Hayback. Wilson. Can't remember. Oh, don't forget Table Mountain. Warm West Rain. Warm West Rain, Wet Table, something like that. I can't remember what it was now. Beginning where warm water's hot. The High Warm West Rain. Some searches are worth more than some shit. So, dear. Fembury, only if I got closure. All right. Why get burned when gold is cold? Oh, I went to Flaming Gorge, so great, just a few years ago. Yeah, it's supposed to be a good place. I'll trust you if you tell me it's good. Flaming Gorge is in the Red Desert. It's not in the desert. Yeah, that's why you cross it off the list, don't you? As a soul, you go, oh well, said it's not that. Not in an outhouse. There's quite a few things that he said it's not, which should have told people, well, it's not there, but they didn't listen. Hell's Half Acre. That's a place. Oh, Woods Landing. Forget Woods Landing. I'm not sure about what's it, Kepler University, where that sign is. Ever chisel frozen. Yeah, that's hell. Now I've picked Brussels in when it's frozen. That is hell. If ever you want the worst moment of your life, then go picking Brussels in the freezing cold dark. That's what my mum and dad made me do when I was a little lad. And there is nothing worse than being frozen to your bones. And them telling you, the faster you work, the warmer you'll get. I can't even move and you want me to work faster. And, they were geared up to work there. I had like bin bags on my legs to stop me getting wet. So, no, this is not the way to live. A structure is not a structure, an architect. Only if you're at the North Pole. That's what it felt like. Nature makes cool stuff. I was talking to somebody the other day, like the golden ratio, it's in nature. And that to me says it's created. Everything is too precise, everything's almost digitized. And, it's possible to live in a matrix if that's the case. If it's, all perfect. Because, nature doesn't do straight lines and perfect. That's the one thing, you notice. But, I don't know. We have, especially with the pyramids, such precise ability. It's crazy. And I go back to those, you didn't move them blocks with loads of people. That didn't happen. It didn't happen. Couldn't have happened. You can't put them blocks in place with, 1,000 people. Just nudge it over 3 inches. Yeah, okay. Nah. Well, not even 3 inches. It was to the millimeter. Them things were. Trying to nudge a 30-ton block. No. Nature is not nature. Forced death creates what you see as nature. I don't know what that is. If you plan accordingly, you may make good timing for one of the functions at the Junctions events. But that would be next year, wouldn't it? February next year. Written planning is not freedom. Our trip will be planned by God. Ooh. And an angel. Or two. A structure is built on a foundation. A foundation is built on contributions. Grants come from foundations. Well, funny to talk about foundations because they're all in the poem. And, if you're going to be in architecture, you want all those, lintels, and RSJs and, those sort of bases. You'll be surprised what's in that poem. Planetary alignments, ants and the elephants, the butterflies, Lepidoptera, whatever you call it. What else? Oh no, just too much. Too much. You will be Horatio. I don't know that name. You will be shocked what's hidden behind the heart. Somebody write something. Oh no, it just says what's inside that poem. I don't think I'll be shocked. For me, I told somebody it's the internet. It literally is, ask it a question. And, it, better than the internet, it tells you what's going to happen as well. So, crazy. Crazy stuff. Crazy. Don't know how. But thanks for that, Horatio. The more people that explain that the poem is amazing is good for me. Because I have no idea how he did it, and don't want to be the only person that is crazy. Anything to be labelled as a structure has a non-movable bond. If I have to die to get it, that will be a while since I'm getting next surgery. I should last another 25 years. I want a head transplant. No, not a head. A brain transplant. Into a clone of myself. So I still want to be me, a young version of me, with the knowledge that I have. So if I survive long enough, that's what I'll have. I was already burned before the gold was cold. The cold gold never cured my burns. It took a medic to help me realise I could heal myself. And the cold gold didn't care, so neither did I. I want not. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea what that is saying. I was already burned before the gold was cold. The cold gold never cured my burns. It took a medic to help me realise I could heal myself. And the cold gold didn't care, so neither did I. Oh. Thanks. No problemo. It's a good. Plants come from the hand of God. Mary needs a brain before head. Yes. Actually, definitely needing the brain. My brain isn't the best there is. I study geology and structures within rocks. Crazy stuff. The plan was to always reward the loyal. If that says the, I can't see because of the stupid heart. Ah, cool. Waiting for 7 surgeries. Neck, low back, right hip replacement, hands and feet, tools. And you make the statement that you're going to last 25 years if you have neck surgery, but you have all this other stuff going on. I don't know if I want to last 25 years with all that going on. Loyalty has many incantations, Geoduck. Look what Trump did to the word. The word. I thought the word was bird. I don't know. What did Trump do to the word? The word loyalty has severe cervical spine steps from being a quad. Wow. Wow. I don't know whether that's good because it's lucky or or not good. No plan as it's against freedom. The history of truth needs to be told. Thus, a reason from family. Yes, get well soon, Bill. God is and always has been in charge. I have faith in that. Well, like I said, I had a prayer that, helped me solve this poem. I don't know. I don't know how Forrest did it. He must have had a helping hand. He must have, those statements the book must have wrote itself. Otherwise, I struggle. Like for me to think that he programmed all of those letters, built them, crafted them over and over. Like I don't know. I just don't know how he did it. I don't. No, I don't know. I don't know how he did it. Planning ahead removes the obstacles, and then your adventure can be even better. D. What's never a Greek letter? Where is God? D. What's never a Greek letter? Bears up for all who suffer in our. Yes, 100%. Even for Doc. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that. Not in me, it doesn't. In fact, at Geoduck, tell that Gid, God, to come see me. I'll have something to say to it. But that's just it, Zozo. You wouldn't, would you? If God turned up to you, there would be nothing to say. That's a silly statement. Why would you say anything if the person, the entity, whatever that is known as God, came to speak to you, you'd have nothing to say because you'd lost your argument. Apart from sorry, you wouldn't have nothing to say. If God turned up in front of you as you asked for, then you'd have nothing to say. Apart from I'm sorry, I didn't believe. Add BC blah blah before Christ is the real British Columbia. Double Omegas was the end for Forrest and Peggy. Oh, I will. You can guarantee it. Any God not. Yeah, but if God turns up, your argument is that there's no God. So if a God turns up, what are you going to say? God, there's no God. I don't believe there's a God. That's a pointless statement. There you are, God, in front of me, and I'm telling you right now, I don't believe there is a God. That don't make sense. I got his number. My God is a great spirit, whatever they are. I'm a mystic. Yeah, I like, what the Hopi say and do. And I'm obviously not, a Native American Indian, but my firm belief is there has to be a creator. There has to be, this is all created. Everything that is done has been created. There's nothing random about it. Don't search church, he's not there. No, I was disillusioned with it because, they started getting microphones and started to whisper into it to try and make you feel, a bit weird. As though, he was there in you, when it's just them, like, more false than real. No gods are in human organs. You are talking about your mind and feelings. Yes, prayers. Yep, that's kind of the point. Half the population is possessed. 3,251 illegal were found on the voter rolls in Alabama, Crazy, crazy. But that's why they're in. That's why they're in. Try and get the votes. It is not anywhere on our planet. Stop going outside the planet. Stay here. We have to work. We have work to do. God would not make kings to rule spiritual. God. Mario, have you found the X in the poem? I can neither confirm nor deny that statement. So, I'm not trying to say I'm a solver or the finder. So, finding anything in regards to solving anything, all I'm saying is that, there is information in the poem that will help you, everybody, in the chase, to have some happiness and not be, upset by it all and not be against Forrest. The story is being told. You're being told the story. You're being given insight into the poem. And Jack is, even if, abstract or made or fake or, it's part of this thrill of the chase that Forrest Fenn gave us. That's, if you can just have faith in that and realise that all is good, all's good. That's a question: where does any God dictate humanity or any human that someone specific is more spiritual than another human? You were once inside your mother, before that your father. Reverse all the way back to the beginning of time, and that is where God is. If you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. Well done, Codex. Keep going back. Keep going back. Has to be the beginning. Go back to the beginning. Oh, that's what Forrest said. If you get lost, go back to the beginning. Lay the K on its side, then you have a new King Bluetooth. Where is this God again? How do you know this? If you talk to a priest that gives last rites, who will I tell you? Excuse me, I'm not getting that. Telling you, no one ever said they wish they made more money. What? Who will? Oh, right, yeah. Everybody has a little devil in them, no matter how holy they think they are. You rule your own soul. Is there another for that too? Oh, yeah, that is right. You were told this by other men. So, since you make your way, be first in line of removed. Ooh. Well, it is 221, nearly 222, which is not bad. 222 reminds me of the note. Ooh, I wonder if that's the 222 note on the table that was in the scrapbook. The little ducks. Don't know, Desmond Tutu. In one's heart, God can only be found in books written by men. Don't know about that. What did you just say? So I'm going to go. I think, we wait. Yes, you are the monkey rainbow. What that is. The best part of the chase is that it keeps moving forward. And that can only mean that, at some point there will be a final destination. in regard to this point, because don't forget, Forrest said, look forward to the promise of new discoveries. So there, we already know there is the bells on the jars, which could be, significant fines for people. That in itself is something, that's worth thinking about. How do we go about ascertaining the location for those? People keep talking about 8 or 9 or whatever, but Forrest said 28 or something. He buried some, and he's got some more that he's going to bury. So there's quite a few. There isn't just a small amount. And then, JCB is 1021, not too far away. Even the most skeptic of people will have to have some inkling that maybe Forrest had something to do with it. Dazed and confused. Yes, you have nothing to do with dire. Please stop diverting your words. This is internal. Another brick in the wall is real. There will be one last call. If you don't accept Jesus, you will miss the boat. Lily the pink, the saviour of the human race, for she invented. So thank you all for watching. There's still 27 people here, 11 likes. I can't believe that. There's 27 people before the start, but 11 likes. I don't get that many likes. So I appreciate the fact that you're here. I appreciate 12 likes. I wasn't begging for likes, sorry. That's not what I was saying, but thank you. Thanks, Mama Q. Thank you. 13. Wow, it's going up. I shouldn't have said anything. Thanks, Lily. And, I do appreciate you people. I really do. I know. Hey, Jeff. Oh, good morning. It is morning. 2:25. Well, that went quick. I thought I just said 2:21, didn't I? That went quick. Yes, I think it's time for my bed. I've been staying up late, and that's stupid. Staying up late, getting up early is obviously not going to be too good for people. And I need to get into a routine, to be fair. If anybody speaks... 14, well, what's going on? If anybody speaks to Ben, it would be appreciative if he put a note out, whatever you call them. Ad, I don't know what to call it. To say when he's going to go live, because obviously he normally goes live when I'm asleep, and I wouldn't want to miss it. So, thanks, Newman. I didn't know you were in. If you were in earlier, I'm sorry I didn't say hello, but thank you for being here. Like I say, I do appreciate it. I'm not trying to teach people to suck eggs. I'm not trying to say that I'm the, the be all and end all, or that we're the be all and end all. Just that it's possible if we just believe a little, if we just, put down your soul and just try to listen to what Forrest says and see if that is, talking about your soul either positively or negatively, and act accordingly. And I'm not trying to say that you're wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, look, here's information that will have an impact on your soul one way or another, and you have to use that information. You can't ignore it because you're not going to get the right answers if you do. USS is not American Navy. Navy USS. I'll try not to carry more than 50 in my pocket. Yes, you don't want to be a failure. Wave to the boat. One foes not need to accept Jesus, but it is only helpful to study his teachings like other philosophers. There's nothing wrong with that. Ben is most likely just pretending to not know. Paid actors. And it doesn't matter, does it? The point I'm trying to get across is you can all know. All of you can know. It's possible to know if you trust what Forrest says and you try to read the poem in a different way. Everyone can know. Thank you, Mama. You each have a good night, and the same. Selfish. I only am sharing what I have learned to help others, nothing else. I have no agenda. Yes, same here. I have no agenda. Well, I do. I have an agenda to help you realise that Forrest, is not this bad person that people claim, and really does, give people hope out of depression and all that stuff. Which is pretty much where we are now as regards to America. If things carry on the way they're going. And I am usually do I can hand you the key. What good is it? The key? Oh, pretty soon there won't be any 50s to carry. Oh dear. Well, there's some good information for everyone to take home with them. Ben should come up here after Santa Fe. He can hit Mesa Verde and Four Corners. Oh, the Four Corners, yes, of course. There's somewhere else. Four Corners. Is that Utah, New Mexico, Colorado, and Arizona? I can't remember. I know it's down there somewhere. Thanks, Luli. Thanks, everyone. You showed me the ducky's better than... Right. No, I think you misunderstood what I was talking about. So, ciao for now. Probably, meet in somebody's chat, possibly. Getting fed up with these little pop-up notifications. Probably meeting somebody else's chat. Thank you for your kindness and your words. Hope to speak to you soon. Ciao for now. Take care.